What's going on, Internet? The Black Okage here, aka TBH, and to be honest, welcome back to the Game and Illuminaughty podcast. We are the Enlightened Gamers, and you are tuned into episode 150. If you're watching the video version of the show at youtube.com/GI updates, know this show is available on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, and all other major podcast platforms. Be sure to rate the show 5 stars on Apple and Spotify. We need your 5-star rating to move up in that algorithm and bring in new potential listeners. Also, follow the podcast on social media. We do daily content drops on social media. We're available on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. Our handle for everything is at GI Updates. Links in the description box below. Now, without further ado, allow me to introduce you to my co-hosts, the first of which, his pronouns, I think, are Marvel Snapper. UTXJG the Don. Say what up to the people, man.
Hey man, I found the game. I don't play it every day, man. Shout out to Chaos. It's dope. It's dope. I mean, I had never thought I'd be into a card game like that, but it's simple and it works and it's Marvel. So we in here. Shout out to everybody that supported us in 2023. We appreciate y'all. 2024, obviously, as you can see, we about to hit the ground running with a bang. So hope you all enjoy the hopefully blessed year that GI has in 2024.
And my second co-host, he is a Detroit native who finally got to eat some wings because the Pistons beat the Raptors on December 30th. Turn on those fryers, eat those, say what up to the people.
What's going on, everybody? I just wanted to ask JG, have you beaten the snap bots yet, or are they still whooping you?
Oh, no. We ranked up. We ranked up.
Yeah, okay. He was losing to some CPUs and GPUs this past.
No, they beat.
Ito started this Carl Williams shit. What the fuck?
They be cheating, dog. I'm telling you. If you play Marvel Snap, them bots be cheating. They be having the most random card that'll beat you. Chaos, no.
Now, if your eyes work correctly, you would notice we have a fourth camera on display, and that's because we are joined by a special guest this episode. He's a content creator and a former competitor for the Fortnite scene. You might have heard of his name. He's the legend. Nah, he's the myth. Say what up to the people, man.
Yo, what's up, everybody? How you doing? Thank you for having me on, guys. I appreciate it.
For sure. And all his socials will be in the description box below if you want to check out his content. He's streaming over on YouTube. Also, friendly reminder, make sure to join the Discord at discord.gg/GI updates. It's totally free. Big shout out to some of our supporters, which include Mr. Fifth, Tino, and Bird Boy. Also, with our Discord, we do monthly giveaways. We just gave away a copy of Baldur's Gate 3. We do consultations for content creators. We game with you. It's a lot of cool stuff. So make sure to join the Discord. Link in the description box below. Now, with all the promotion and introductions out of the way, first show of 2024, we're talking about 2023.
Year in review, baby.
What's the name? We never got to do our favorite games of last year, so we're going to kick off the year since it's still January to talk about what are our top 5 games of 2023. We do this every year. What are our top favorite games? We got 4 people here. Myth, you are the guest. The way we're going to do it is we're going to start with our number 5. We're all going to go around the circle. You're going to break down what's the pros and cons of your 5. We'll debate with you if we agree or disagree, and then we'll just keep going around until we get to the news. Myth, you are the guest. Give us your number 5 game, favorite game of 2023.
Got you. I wrote it down. Shit. And I cannot find it. Wow, I really killed that momentum.
No. Keep going. I'm still typing favorite of mine right now.
Hey, no, it's fine. It's fine. I'll feel there. Freaking, when I was putting my list together, because I'm writing a video for my top 10, so I was like, let me just go ahead and start writing. Bro, I listed 20 games that I liked last year.
20?
Yeah. It's like genuinely liked. And then I had to narrow it down to 10. I was like, boy.
Bro, I did not play games last year, bro. That must have been the case. Because look, I don't even got a number 5.
Sheesh. Well,
I got 4 games.
All right. What about? Can you give us something for 2022? Would you throw in there as like your 5th? You remember like a game that you really loved that year?
Dude,
or a game you played did it come out? Oh, close enough. Good. That's
a tough one. But okay. 2023 game. I think a game that really surprised me that I never played before or never played a game of the style was Diablo.
Okay,
I'll put that up.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the name? What specifically surprised you, and what kind of kept you hooked on it?
I think Diablo had I was completely new to the genre of dungeon crawler. I've never played a single Diablo in my life, or a top-down dungeon crawler. So being able to experience that with that game specifically, Diablo 4, was really, really cool. I thought the way that they integrated the story into the gameplay as well, where it kind of always felt like I was chasing after something or had something planned up and lined up to work toward, which is really, really nice. And the gear progression system was something that, like, I don't know, it just feels, it almost feels like gambling. I don't know. It's so good trying to get a roll in that game or trying to get something like, trying to get a
You got
right
a gambling problem, Doc?
item. Nah, I can't. I don't gamble for shit.
I get what he's saying.
I can't gamble in person, but I love like gambling for rolls in games, you know?
For sure. So how did you feel about Diablo 4 because I know there was a lot of drama surrounding when the first update dropped. Like, a lot of people didn't like it. Did you manage to stick it through? I mean, I would imagine you still liked it. What made you keep playing the game despite the hate towards it?
I still liked it. I think the main thing is, like, I wasn't somebody that played a lot of the other Diablo games. I was super new to it. So it's like, there was nothing for me to critique, really. Like, I really just fell in love with that style of game and the art style in the world. And I was just like, okay, sure. You want to, like, nerf ways for people to, you know, you kind of want to slow down the progression a little bit for you know, in these few key areas. And I was like, all right, sure, fine. I'm not really sweating like that. I was kind of enjoying it just as a casual person playing it, because I also had other games that I was playing. So I don't know. I really enjoyed it.
Basically, you didn't have anything to create a bias towards you. You came in with fresh eyes, so you were able to like it regardless. I can respect that.
I was like a newborn baby, like, damn, look at all these demons.
Nah, it's like that when, like, movies, like, they be dropping too many trailers. Like, if you watch too many trailers for games or movies, it can spoil you and ruin things for you. So I'm not mad at that. You went into it blind and you liked it. Ethos, give me your number 4 for 2023.
I need to give you number 5.
Oh, my bad, 5. My brain. I told you I started fasting before my brain. I've been fasting. Yeah. My brain's fried.
Yeah, we see the steam moving right now.
Like, I want to eat.
Yeah. Number 5, I'm gonna give it to Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I mean, I really like this game. The only con I had about it was, it was a little bit unoptimized at launch, but I still powered through it to beat the game. I streamed playing some of it. I just loved it. It felt like an improvement in every way from the first game. I liked the first game, so the second one was literally like, how do we just turn everything up to 11 and add new stuff to the game? It felt like a really good sequel, so I really loved it. I loved the new combat styles that they added to the game, the difficulty of it. I know you said the whole Padawan playthrough. I wasn't a Grandmaster. Maybe I'll do that whenever they drop a New Game Plus, or they did drop one. I'll probably go back and do New Game Plus, but I did do, like, what is it, the second to highest difficulty one. So I enjoyed it overall. I thought the story was fire. The gameplay was awesome. I love the new, like, how it was like semi-open world. I love that. Just really amazing game this year. Great job from Respawn, even though I shit on them because of Apex.
Yeah, what's the name? I think it was like 50% of people played the game on either easy or very easy and then, like, normal. It was a lot of Padawan playthroughs, but, you know, I'm a big Grandmaster. By the way, I think this might be the year that, like, we might have probably the most different list, because I feel like usually our lists are, like, in alignment, but, like, off rip, based off what people are saying right now, I think these lists gonna be pretty interesting.
But again, that's why, I mean, you literally say you had 20 games on your list, so 2023, I mean, as we said plenty times before, it was a really good year, so it was a lot of good games, though.
Did you just admit that I play games? I beat games?
No, JG, we said we was gonna let him say that.
Yeah, we're not doing this. We're not doing this.
Hey Jay, what's your number 5?
Man, again, it was tough for me too. Like, I have some honorable mentions here, like, that I just like. Should I put it there? But my number 5, I think would have to go to Remnant 2.
I forgot Remnant.
Yeah. See, look at him.
I gotta adjust my list. I'm a fucking nerd.
Remnant 2 for me, not like me, like, being a Soulsborne, like, connoisseur now. Like, I like playing all Soulsborne games. I'm not scared of them. But for me, not knowing anything about Remnant and then, like, asking the community about Remnant 2, I'm like, oh, this game gonna be good. Like, I don't know anything about it. And then going into it, like, almost the entire community of GI was playing it. It was a very nice experience seeing that, like, this was a different style to the Soulsborne series where you were mostly shooting, but I felt like the game was more fair because there were like clear-cut ways, even though they had a different style of going through all of the different places, the different areas there. You know, it was so generated in a different style that, like, you like, it was tough for one person to see the same thing as another person. So I thought that was super cool. we were getting different items because of that. But, once we found out, how you can get to those places, there were, clear-cut ways to get, what you wanted. So it was a lot of grinding in that game, but like fair grinding. It wasn't, I feel like in contrast to Diablo, which you were talking about, Myth, I felt like even though it was the role to get the specific world, it wasn't such a gamble to get the specific item that you wanted. Some items obviously took a little bit more time than others, but it wasn't as bad of a grind. So I think that's what I truly appreciated in this old boring game, introducing, those other type of RPG and RNG elements, along with the procedural generation when it came to the different maps that you went to. So it was a really cool game. Like I said, I love doing co-op with everybody, and it was just ultimately fun. Very challenging too. Very challenging game, but when you have friends, you can grind and get through it. So it was really cool. I liked it.
What's the name? Before I get to my number 5, you were bringing up honorable mentions. I'm going to give the floor to everyone. Does anybody have any honorable mentions before we go any further?
Remnant 2.
Mine is gonna be. I was literally gonna say Remnant 2 as well.
I thought you said you didn't play no games. That's a good ass game. Now you
played it.
No, I forgot Remnant 2 came out, and I forgot Star Wars came out. And then as soon as you guys said those, I was like, oh shit.
Not remember. I'm trying to remember everything else.
It's the COVID timeline. It's fucked everybody's brain, bro.
It has.
It's fried everybody's head.
Sea of Stars. Even though I didn't beat it yet. I'd give it a
that game.
Dead Space remake was really cool. I'm gonna say it. I don't care. I'm gonna give Hogwarts an honorable nod. I know a lot of people like shitting on it, but I think like just being a Harry Potter fan, that was like a dream fulfilled.
I put it in my honorables too. Like I wouldn't put it in the top 10, but that's fair. Like,
yeah,
that's fair.
I enjoyed it.
Same.
Yeah, I thought I really enjoyed it. So
what's the name?
That's all I can remember.
All right, so going into my number 5, it's gonna go to Liza Penis. This is the new.
Is it fire?
Is it, bro? It's probably the best Souls clone to date.
Really?
Yeah.
But it didn't win. Why didn't it win?
Why didn't it win Game of the Year?
Why didn't it win Soulsborne Game of the Year at the GI Awards?
What one was it? Was it Armored Core? I think. What was it?
Remnant 2 won it.
Okay,
I was about to say,
I think because of co-op for that one. I think
it was a co-op. Yeah.
But yeah, I liked it. It was it's the new Souls-like game made by NeoWiz. I think they're already working on the sequel. It takes a spin of the Pinocchio series and basically like kind of fuses it with the story of iRobot, where basically Pinocchio's the one good android or puppet, and he's got to go kill all the other puppets. But the combat, it was really good until like. The last boss fight pissed me the fuck off, bro. I'm not gonna lie. And the reason was because the game allowed me to play the way that I wanted to, and then at the very end it forced me to play a different way. But like once I got out of my feelings and I sat back down and like I looked at what my favorite games, I was like, all right, this is still a top 5 game. I enjoyed the game like 95% of the way through. And like if you want to play it, Myth, like at the end there's a boss fight, like it's some straight bullshit. But if you get through, you get that sense of satisfaction. But yeah, the world they crafted, beautiful. I thought the story was interesting. A lot of different combat options. I think there's like 40 different weapons in it. The exploration, it's like semi-open world. It's big enough, but it's not too big where like you're getting lost. You kind of always know where to go. And there's replayability there. So I think Liza P is a really good game that I think people should play. And also it's on Game Pass. So I mean it's free if you got the Game Pass. It's something to try. But that's my
cool.
That's my number 5 one. Now you're go ahead, man.
Oh, no, I was gonna say I only asked because I remember like I played it. It was after some award show they like announced that they were doing like you could download the demo, right? Yeah. And then I played the demo and I was like, damn, they need to do some work. Like they need to go to work on this. I guess they did because I haven't played it since release and I've heard nothing but good things. So I really, really want to play it again.
What did you have issues with when it came to the demo?
There was my biggest gripe with that in the demo was I think it was the way the rolling mechanic worked and the iframes in it. But like,
that was the thing.
Yeah, and then it was like I think the parry, really hit or miss. So they fixed all that shit?
No. Okay, so this goes back to what I was telling you earlier. So the parry in the game is still ass, in my opinion. But
there's other ways to play. Like
the rolling and the dodge system, they fixed that. You can upgrade it, and the iframes, they're respectable. So I played the whole game through basically just dodging and counterattacking. But then when you get to the final, so there's two bosses at the end. There's the final boss and then the true final boss. If you want the real ending, not the Mickey Mouse ending, it's going to force you to use the parry system. So it's like you have to be mentally prepared, at least practice it a little bit throughout the game. That way you're not screwed over when you get to that final part of the game. But like for the most part, I think they did fix the issues, and it's a very solid Souls-like game.
Okay, I'm happy to hear that though, because I remember just playing that game, just the demo, and I was looking around. I loved the world. I loved the art style. I loved what they were trying to do, and I saw the vision, and I was just like, I really hope they could fucking fix this shit. So
yeah. Literally every gripe that you had was a gripe that everybody who played the game had. Like all the Soulsborne fans, and like I said, the parry system still didn't really get fixed. It got fixed a little bit, but the iframe, the rolling definitely got fixed.
What studio made it again?
NeoWiz. It was their it was actually their first major game. It's a new Korean studio.
Oh man, props to them then. I always love that shit. I always try to give roses to devs that like, you know, turn stuff around or like take the feedback and actually make shit happen.
For sure. I'm actually surprised it didn't get nominated for more awards at the award show, but I guess because this year was so stacked, maybe that's why.
Yeah, it got overlooked. I got overlooked in a lot of stuff.
Was Diablo 4, because you said you didn't have a 5, I'm not sure. I just want to make sure I'm getting this correct. Was Diablo 4 your 4 spot, or was that your 5th, Myth?
We'll make that my 5th. All
right, give me your 5th.
I can slot it Remnant now.
Give me your 4th.
Okay. Yeah. I think my 4th is actually going to be Hogwarts Legacy.
Okay.
Yeah. I really, really enjoyed playing through Hogwarts Legacy, like all the way through. I was interested in the story, but I think more so what really captivated me about the game was just the world, and kind of it was the first time I've like, well, not the first time, but it was one of those moments where I would see something in the world in the distance, or see some little pixie dust. And then I would go on this path and follow it down, and I would actually be engaged in what it led me to. And I feel like in a lot of open worlds, the stuff that they kind of do throw around to kind of make you feel like it's an open world doesn't really like grab me the way that the things in that game did. And I think that's why I really like the game.
Were you a Harry Potter fan growing up?
A little bit, but not like crazy. You know, I wasn't like going around middle school telling people that I was Gryffindor.
Yeah, that's ethos. That was one thing that I think about it that was actually really impressive about Hogwarts is like you could pretty much go wherever you could see, like on the broom, and like it would instantly load. Now that I think about that,
the tech of the game is very impressive. I think the art direction's also really good about the game.
Yeah, the art direction.
They nailed those things.
Yeah, I never played. I mean, I never read any Harry Potter or watched any of the books, and I found the world to be interesting. I just thought the gameplay got repetitive about halfway through, which is something they could clean up for like there's going to be a sequel.
I just perceive it as for a first attempt from Avalanche, they did a really good job.
I see the potential in it.
Game. Yeah, they could do really good, especially for the second game.
If they flesh out that combat and make it like a little bit deeper, which I don't know how they're gonna do it because it's like wizard shit. I think it could be like a game of the year contender. That's for me where it was like kind of lackluster. But yeah, that was a good pick. Ethos, give me your 4.
Number 4 goes to Alan Wake 2. I really love this game. I streamed myself playing the entire game. I hate horror games. I can't play them. They do too much for me to really engage. But this one like had me captivated. I think like from a narrative standpoint, this game had one of the best stories this year. I really loved the introduction of Saga. I really loved her character. I played the original Alan Wake years ago on my Xbox. I really liked that game. I even played the DLC that it dropped. I played Control. So this was kind of all leading up to Alan Wake 2. And to see that, they spent over a decade, like slowly wanting to build this game. This is the game they always wanted to do, and Remedy like just knocked it out of the park. This game has some of the most beautiful lighting I've ever seen from a technology standpoint. This is one of the most beautiful games I've seen. Easily like up there with, some of the other games that I would put up there. I think it looks awesome. I love the story. I like the whole True Detective vibe that the story had. I like how weird the game is at times. The combat is a little bit, I guess my only reason won't go up is the combat is a little bit kind of basic. It's not too crazy, but it still gets the job done.
Did you find it clunky? Because
I feel it's grounded. I wouldn't say it's clunky. It feels grounded, and I think maybe that's like I don't feel like it's very reactive. Like there's a lot of that thing I have that issue with like with GTA and Red Dead, where it's like they add so much animations to the attacks. Sometimes it can feel sluggish to respond to stuff because it's playing all these like complex, very detailed animations that look great, but sometimes response wise they feel kind of like it's not reacting as fast as I want to. I felt like that during combat sometimes. Like, and not to mention too, I felt there was also like, granted, I was streaming the entire game, but I did feel like there was definitely points specifically in the game when you get to Saga's part with the nursing home. That part, from a performance standpoint, when I went to the bunker and like that whole area in the hospital, that was when like my frame rate was like my PC was struggling. Like it was literally just trying to
Xbox.
Here you go.
Here you go.
I should have got it on the console. I didn't see that.
I should have got a console, but but overall though, I love the music. I truly believe it's one of the most unique creative games I've played for a good minute. So shout out to Remedy.
It was the reason I asked you if it was clunky or not, because the last Alan Wake 2 video that I uploaded, I saw some comments and people were saying they couldn't get into it because the combat was clunky compared to Resident Evil 4, and I'm like, did y'all play? I feel that's the way I feel about Resident Evil. Like it was hard for me to get into that because and from my understanding, they purposely make it clunky, so it's like frightening.
That could be a keyboard thing. I wonder, because I haven't played with a controller. I wonder if playing with a controller it feels more.
I played on Xbox with a controller, and like to me, Alan Wake felt like a typical third-person shooter. Like I never felt like I was easily hitting my headshots. I never really felt like I was in danger, so I made a stupid mistake. I don't know. I was just curious your take on it, if you agreed or not.
Skill issue. I'm just gonna say skill issue.
All right. Well,
people were saying the Resident Evil 4 remake was clunky.
No. I had people in my comments saying Alan Wake 2 was clunky compared to Resident Evil 4.
Resident Evil 4, got it.
Yeah, and I thought that was interesting because me personally, I find Resident Evil to be clunky. That's why it's hard for me to get into it. But to each his own. You disagree with that, Myth? You like the Resident Evil 4 joint?
No, I really so my next game was going to be did we get through all the four? We didn't get through all the four.
Save it.
I gotta go and then
all right, Jay, give us your 4 then.
All right, now this game ended up falling down the list just because there was so many other great games that came down, but Wolong is my number 4.
I was making my list and I was genuinely curious if this was gonna make his top 5. There were so many great games. Yo, this nigga loves.
He could not let it go.
Absolutely.
Final Dynasty.
Yeah, he could not leave it there.
No, this is one of the first. This is one of the first Soulsborne games that came out this year. It's based on the Chinese Dynasty. So I love anything Chinese or feudal Japan. So that's the one thing about me. So this had a stranglehold on me. Like when Lies of P came out, I was still like battling between the two as far as the Soulsborne games were concerned. But Lies of P, I have to give it up to it. It made it higher on my list, so I'll get there when it is. But Wolong, it was another situation where like you played the demo and you were like, this needs to be changed, and the parry system was one of the things that needs to be changed in Wolong. And guess what? They actually fixed it in this game, because if it was still like it was in the demo, oh my god, a lot of more people will be struggling. But this was another game that it was a skill issue with a lot of people, because we as a collective in our group, we like to do challenges, so you could get through without struggling.
Wolong is the easiest Souls game I've played so far. I don't know what.
Wolong ended up being easy. Yeah, no, Wolong ended up being easy, but we were trying to make it a challenge. But regardless of that, the things I like about this game is, again, the setting. So I love the setting because it's in the Three Kings era. So you have all the characters. You play Dynasty Warriors, then you would know all the characters in Wolong. So it follows that storyline. The parry system, like, it's very fast paced. So like Lies of P is a little bit slower when it comes to combat, but Wolong is like super freaking fast. Like you get in, like they have a very unique system when every level that you go to, they're separate levels in there. So if you have momentum, you don't die, whatever, you beat the biggest bosses, then you'll rise up to the highest level, and it'll help you be just a little bit stronger. You're not super OP, but you'll be a little bit stronger once you get to like the final boss of the level. So I like that. That was an interesting mechanic that I haven't seen before, especially in the Soulsborne game. So that was pretty cool. The weapon system, the weapon and the gear system, it was a little bit clunky because, again, you see a lot of duplicates. It was one of those type of games where you just see a whole bunch of duplicates, and and it'll have slightly different stats. But once you get like
Diablo, I forgot. Was it like Diablo's gear system?
Yeah, it was similar to that. Yeah, it was similar to that. But once you get like the special weapons, find them in the map or beat a boss and get it, then those end up becoming like the OP weapon that you'll tend to stick with because they have very unique values to them. They also added a magic system too that wasn't in the demo, so added magic, in case you wanted to do that, but you don't have to do that either. But it was just overall a good game for me. Like I said, as far as Soulsborne games were concerned, I thoroughly enjoyed it, but I ended up liking Lies of P a little bit better, but it still ended up making my top 5.
That's true. I'm so curious. This is a side topic. I'm so curious to hear what your favorite Souls game is. Yeah, like it's kind of diverting off the main topic for a little.
No, you're fine. We find this is
curious,
content, baby.
Okay, fire.
Of all time so far, it has to be Elden Ring. No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely Elden Ring. No,
Gotcha.
because you could play that game in so many different ways, and Elden Ring literally took everybody by storm. Like literally all of GI played it, and the majority of us did not play Soulsborne game. It was like Ethos and Anon.
Yeah.
Like those are only 2 people.
I called that shit in 2019. I was the only one like excited when I saw the trailer. I was just like, oh shit! And
we knew nothing about it.
Whatever.
Knew nothing about it. Word of mouth spread like freaking wildfire, and Elden Ring was that game, of all games at the time. Like, and it's still is held in such high regard.
For sure.
It's still in the top 20 in Steam. Like, still in the top 20 in Steam. We're a year later, and Baldur's Gate and Alan Wake came out. Like, so many other games came out, and it's still in the top 20.
It's crazy when you think about like people talking about most anticipated for this year, and they're talking about DLC for it, and just like
right.
I want to play the DLC. I'm waiting for the DLC too.
I want to play the DLC. Yeah.
It's right. But now I had the Elden Ring for sure.
Yeah, Elden Ring is definitely top tier in terms of Souls. Like it gave me one of the greatest pieces of content in my content creating history. I don't know if they told you before we started recording. I beat Millennia's ass for 16 hours straight, bro. With no.
Hold on.
Rephrase that. You did not whoop Millennia. No.
I like how he did that, bro. I like how he did that, bro.
Fraudulent.
You made that sound hard.
Millennia beat his ass for 16 hours. Almost 20 hours straight.
I was 16 hours.
I was letting her get back up. Letting her get back up.
Just fucking with her, huh?
Yeah, it was great content.
My man was struggling because he was stubborn.
I will quote who actually said.
In my defense, though, I'm the only one that didn't use mimics, stupid magic, all these gimmicks. I fought in the pocket.
Here you go.
I'm gonna stand on it. I fought in the pocket.
I want to quote what the fan said. Where literally a fan told me, he said, I literally woke up, I saw TBH streaming Elden Ring fighting Millennia. I went to work. I got home from work. I got food. I sat down and he was still streaming Elden Ring.
That sounds like a thankful viewer to me. Lots of quality content.
He was shocked.
Sounds like a thankful viewer to me.
My man was going through it, but he still enjoyed the game. I mean, after 16 hours, you better enjoy the game after all that.
I'd have quit.
What's your favorite Souls like, Myth?
Man. So Elden Ring also brought me into the Souls types, and I think the one that I played immediately after Elden Ring was my favorite, and it has to be Sekiro.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
That's literally right there for me. I still love Sekiro.
So good.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed. So like, I guess let me also like frame it this way. I've gone all my life just playing fucking shooter games up until like 2020, right? Mm-hmm. And that's when I really started playing single player games, and open world games are really cool. But I feel like if you're not used to that, or if you don't know exactly what to look for or whatever, they can be a little bit overwhelming. Yeah. So Elden Ring was that for me in a little bit. And then when I played Sekiro, and it was just like this fucking movie, just like, here you go.
It's a little bit more linear.
Yeah, it's a little bit more linear. It's not as big as a world. There's not as much to do and go see, but it's still like pretty big. It just felt so much. It was so much more my pace for where I was at when it came to gaming at that time.
Yeah. Have you played like?
He did it the opposite way, Ethos. Yeah. He did it the opposite way. He played Elden Ring, then Sekiro. Sekiro was my introduction into Soulsborne.
Yeah.
And then I played Elden Ring.
That's so just think about that. The dog shit out of you, bro. That monkey beat the dog shit out of you. That was. But once I remember, I'll never forget because I was like, because I was playing it and another friend, but I was like one of the first people to play it, and I was just like, I love this game because I got onto the whole Soulsborne when Dark Souls 3 came out. For then hated it. I thought it was like some masochist shit. I was like, I'm not going to torture myself to play a video game. Fuck this.
Yeah.
And then a friend of mine, Anon, he basically not even guilted me, but he was like, look, bro, you buy the game, I buy the game. We can just co-op this whole shit together. We ain't got to play it solo. So we started to play the game co-op. So like we would just do every single boss together with each other's save. Then it got to a point where then we started we subconsciously didn't realize that we started to get hooked on it. And we were just like, okay, all right, we'll see tomorrow. And then quietly we were like, cheating and like playing it on our own, and then we were beating bosses, and the next thing you know, we're just like, I just beat the game, and we're just like, oh my god, it was so awesome and stuff like that. And then Sekiro came out, I think like a couple of years after that, and that was when I was locked in. JG, that's when you jumped in for the first time, and I remember that monkey was like, that was the make it or break it for you. And I remember when you beat him, I think at that point you were just like, I'm sold. I love this shit now, and you've just been a Souls head ever since, right?
Not as much as Siggy, because Siggy, he on a different level. He passed me up. Like, that man went and played all the Dark Souls and Bloodborne. He played every Soul game.
He's doing it with Baldur's Gate too.
Souls. Yeah, he's doing Baldur's Gate. He swore he would hate that game and loves Baldur's Gate. Yeah, so he
freaking.
Last thing about Sekiro, real quick though, is like, I don't know if you guys relate to this, but as I was playing it, I was like, I love rhythm games, and that game just felt like an action rhythm game.
Yep.
Like I loved it,
which is
so
why
much
you probably had the issue with Liza P,
God.
because it lacked that rhythm like Sekiro.
Yep.
It wasn't flawless. Yeah, and when you compare it to that, I mean, it's not fair, but like you said, Sekiro has one of the ones. No, it's not fair to compare. Sekiro has one of the it has the most satisfying like deflection system like that I've ever seen in a video game. I was, me and Ethos were talking, like we've seen certain classes in the Elden Ring. We wish that they just ported over that element. It would have been fire. The katana.
Remember how when they showed the samurai class, we were just like, I pray to God they just copy and paste the deflect from Sekiro into Elden Ring. It didn't happen, which is unfortunate because I feel like I would have loved that game even more if I could have just played it like literally like Wolf from Sekiro.
Well,
someone modded that in though.
Since you like the linear aspect of Sekiro more,
Wolf would have beat the shit out of Melania. I just thought about that. Wolf would have beat the dog shit out of her. But anyways,
I feel like you'd probably like Armor Core 6 because that's more linear and like action based.
Armor Core 6.
Yeah, Myth would probably like that game. Okay. And that's from Software. That's their latest Souls game.
It came out this year. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I launched it and I played it for like 15 minutes, did that first like helicopter battle, and I refunded the game.
Oh man,
he was one of the ones that got stuck on that
issue.
No, I beat it.
Oh, you beat it?
Yeah, I beat the helicopter.
Okay, I'm about to say. All right.
There were the people that got stuck.
Yeah, like the week the game came out, it was like an article that came out. A lot of people apparently refunded after that helicopter boss fight, brother. People was mad.
I'm about to say, not you, man. I'm about to say,
no, I got it. I beat it, and I was like, this isn't
not for me.
Little too floaty for me. Like I just couldn't fly. I don't like flying like that. I don't know. Maybe that changes later in the game, but just for what they showed me at the very start, it didn't hook me, and it wasn't enough.
Yeah, you didn't have your 2 hours in. You had to get your money back. I know. I get it. What's the name? My number 4 goes to Street Fighter 6. As the residential FGC guy here in GI, unlike Nomad, I spent all summer playing this game, so it was safe to end well into the actual fall. I had to put it in my top 5. Street Fighters. It's not my favorite fighter. It's Soul Calibur. I would say it's probably my second favorite fighter, but I think this was just a really good package that they put together. It had the World Tour mode. It had like a story mode for like the casuals to help them get into it. They added the modern controls to help people like JG who bought a $300 fight stick to play on easy. They also the online, the net code. Street Fighter 6 has spoiled the FGC because Mortal Kombat 1 came out, and that I don't see, unless you're like a hardcore Mortal Kombat fan, I don't see nobody talking about this shit. Everybody's like, yo, this is a Tekken 8 waiting room. Everybody went back to Street Fighter 6 unless you're a hardcore Mortal Kombat. And that's because the net code is so good in Street Fighter 6. I think if I played maybe like 100 matches, probably 90 of them were like lag free. And that's what made me want to. It's very rare you see me sweat on a multiplayer game. I was sweating this summer on that fucking game, bro. So I was like, I really appreciated that the online functionality was really good. It was content rich. They've been steady dropping content, although I think they fucking up a little bit right now, overcharging with the DLC. But what's there at launch, it is a quality product. It's probably my favorite Street Fighter since maybe like 3. And I'm waiting for Akuma to drop because I'm gonna get back on it. Like, it's very rare y'all hear me say, I said it about Elden Ring and I'm saying it about Street Fighter. It's very rare you help me say I'm looking forward to buying some DLC, but like, yeah, I still plan on playing this game. I love a good fighting game, and it's fun to play with the community, do some lobbies. Me and Nomad would do that stuff. We held a tournament too for the community. That was a lot of fun. People enjoyed. So yeah, I would give my number 4 to Street Fighter 6, and it's fun to watch competitively too. What about you, Myth? Give me your number 3.
My number 3 is gonna go to Battlebit.
That is interesting. Okay,
all right.
Okay, I like that. This thing's different, bro.
Yeah.
Go ahead, tell us, break it down for us. What about
it? First and foremost, I admire people taking a concept and like basically simplifying it or making it more approachable, but doing it in a way that is so tasteful that it feels like something new. And I think I really, really felt that way about Battlebit. On top of that, you take in the fact, like, I think the major thing about Battlebit as well is like the community that plays it. It's a bunch of grown men wanting to role play as like war and just scream at it. Yeah,
hold on. Before you go further, can you just dial it back and actually explain to the audience what because I don't think that's a super mainstream game. It has its audience, but not everybody knows what Battlebit is.
For sure. Okay, so Battlebit is a Battlefield style game where essentially it's instead of the realistic graphics of Battlefield, you are presented with Roblox looking characters or like Minecraft looking characters. So it's very voxel based, very low poly, but it's so much fun. And you have these massive lobbies. I think more than Battlefield has ever done ever. I think it's like 256 versus 256 on these massive scale maps. So it's just constant barrage, constant warfare. The community is everyone has their mic on while they're playing. So it's just constant like content and constant, just bullshit with people that you're playing with. And it's a shooter. It's an FPS game. Yeah.
That's your thing. How's the destruction in that game compared to like Battlefield?
The destruction I think Battlefield's 2042. They don't even got didn't they rid of destruction almost entirely?
It's pretty light compared to the.
It's pretty light. Yeah. It's pretty light, so I think in this game it's a bit more. It's actually more destructive in that realm. Like tanks can just blow up holes in buildings, and now you have like an entry point and stuff like that still. And I think they could even like take off like complete sections of buildings. But what fascinated me about that game the most is watching the story of the developers and how they kind of came to fruition. I think I was watching this YouTube video. Some dude did a video on them and was just talking about how Battlebit was originally supposed to be a mill sim. Like a Tarkov style, like really deep, rich mill sim where it's like really slow and you have like, you got to heal your leg when it gets shot and your character will limp around. And then sometime around like early access in like their Discord community, they did a playtest and everyone was just like, this game kind of sucks. It's just kind of boring. I don't want to play it. And the devs were just sitting there and they were like,
did it have the Battlebit graphics?
What do we do? Yes.
So it was a military sim that looked like Roblox?
It was a military sim that looked like Roblox, like advanced like tourniquet system with healing and everything. And then they sped it up and it was a success after that. And I just really enjoy everything that game is now. It's so much fun. There's just so much chaos. And it's like there aren't many shooters dropping nowadays that are just like, let me hop on for an hour and just have a good fucking time. Let me just have a good time here and not have to worry about anything. And Battlebit was that for me, and I really, really appreciated that. While still being able to have fun and feeling like, fuck, man, I'm that guy. I'm in fucking battle, fuck.
Mm-hmm. Nah, I like that answer. Like, that was different. But more importantly, that's the second time I've heard you say since we started recording, you show love to game developers. I don't know if we told you, but Ethos on the show, he's a game dev. How does that make you feel?
I love that.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, he has his own studio. Yeah. How does that make you feel? Because devs get shit on social media all the time.
I mean, it's nice. It's nice to see people that like to support devs and shit like that, and especially like give them props for doing good shit. So yeah, I mean, that's always good to have.
Okay. Ethos, what type of game are you developing?
Man, I am developing. Actually, you might like it. It's
You might have seen it.
Yeah,
I think I have.
It's a multiplayer. Oh my god! It's a multiplayer action like hack and slash game called Samurai Zero. So effectively, it is a like competitive, actually really sweaty game. It was inspired a little bit by like back in the day, like Guns the Duel. So
fuck
yeah, it's like that, but like it's more like samurai sword based, but in like a science fantasy universe. So mix of sci-fi and a bit of like fantasy from like Japanese folklore. So yeah, that's like the gist of it. Yeah, it's pretty.
How long
fun,
has it been in development for?
Dude, I lost count.
Yeah, right on.
I lost count. Seriously though, I started. I think like we started like really developing it a little bit before the pandemic. So like 2018, 2019, like I was starting like early designing of it, and then like 2020 was like pretty much like when we started building a prototype out. We basically had it at like a vertical slice by like 2021, 2022. So
yeah, I gotta check that out afterwards. See where you guys are at now.
Yeah, if you ever want a key.
Okay, yeah, no, that'd be great.
Play it. Yeah, you can play it.
Yeah. I'm pretty good at it, but everyone beats my ass now at it. So I guess that's the dev curse: is the games that you make actually you end up finding people who are better at you than after you teach them. I beat JG though, so
that's not hard to do.
Beat me.
Barely.
Excuse me.
Friendly reminder: this guy has a $300 fight stick to play. How many combos you learn in Street Fighter?
Excuse me. I don't play Street Fighter anymore.
Exactly.
It's okay. It's okay. I have other games to play. And I'm a child. Excuse me. I have an excuse.
Oh, Jesus.
I have 2 children.
I got 2 children?
Yeah, you've had all that time to play.
Hey, there'll always be more fighting games.
Don't worry. I'm getting on Tekken 8, though.
That's why I don't have sex, so I can keep playing games all day. Virgin for life. Sex is gross before marriage. What's the name? Who we on? You on Ethos, number 3?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Armor Core 6.
Okay, talk that shit.
I loved it. I'm a huge mech fan. I love Gundam. I love pretty much anything with mech. It's literally like a kind of like a From Software game. I wouldn't say it's just like Dark Souls, but it is. I wouldn't say it's as hard either. I wouldn't say it was as difficult. But I love being able to customize a mech in the way that I wanted to. The amount of customization was insane. You could make a melee build, a long range build. Massive cannons on the back of your mech, turn it into a tank, turn it into a flying vehicle. I love the boss fights. It just really fulfilled like a power fantasy that I really wanted to, like I've always wanted to experience as a kid, which is like what it would feel like to pilot a Gundam and like have those really cool chases where you're dodging missiles and you're dodging beams and you're throwing shit back at people and using melee weapons. Like it does all that, like everything I love about like mecha. It does it all in that really good like formula that FromSoft has perfected. It's my favorite action game this year. I love it. I love the music. I even like the story of it. I love that you could like new game plus it, and every time you did that, like a new part of the story would be different. So I thought that was really cool. I'm pretty sure it's on JG's list somewhere. So yeah, without a doubt, it was like I was excited to play it the moment they announced it, and yeah, I just loved every second of it.
I feel like I'm somewhere between you and Myth when it comes to Armor.
You didn't even beat it, did you?
Yeah, I didn't beat it, but it was because
fraud. Anyway. He put it down after the
skill issue.
No, I didn't. I was deep in my Street Fighter 6 grind when that game came out. Hold on.
Singy told me that you told him that you intentionally were going to wait until they patched it, so then you could.
That's a lie. You can't even Mickey Mouse gameplay. The Grandmaster Jedi. What?
Yeah, I heard you were waiting for a Mickey Mouse patch because you were scared of Baltius. That's what I heard. That's what I heard.
I was deep. Baltius is a cupcake now.
I was deep in my Street Fighter grind when that game came out, and then 2K came out. I had to ball, and then all the other games came out. And to be fair, I liked the game, but I just didn't feel inspired enough to go back. I don't feel like I liked it as much as y'all. I thought it was just kind of like okay, and maybe it's because I didn't get to those boss fights. But by the time like time freed up for me, it was like so many different games was coming out. I think I had got Starfield early, so I had to play that and like make content for it. It just kind of is too many games. It got lost in the shuffle for me. That's just being honest.
This will affect your tier list rating.
I'll be all right, bro. I'll be all right. Nobody care about your opinion. Jay, what's your number 3?
Oh my god, Ethos at number 5 was my number 3. Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Literally the only negative thing that I can say about this is the PC version unfortunately got fucked. It definitely had optimization issues for a while. They finally fixed it. And I ended up sitting through it because I wanted to play the game so bad. But literally everything Ethos said, the upgrades that they had from 1 to 2, like the customization was really, really nice in this one. I loved all the customization options that you had. The difficulty actually did, and for once I actually listened to TBAs because they were him and Siggy or having these freaking power trips on difficulty. But normal difficulty actually was not as fun, and I actually give him like Grandmaster was actually like difficult enough that it ended up being a challenge for me, because it did essentially make it into more of a Soulsborne game. And I ain't no punk now. I like those games, so I played it. I played it on harder difficulty, and it ended up being a very nice experience just going through it. I'm glad that it wasn't like fully open world. Like I said, the semi open world was a definite plus for me going through the game, and the story was freaking amazing. Some nice twists in that game, but yeah, Star Wars Jedi Survivor was definitely up there. And unfortunately, it was a victim of coming out too early in the year, and we talked about this a lot. It came out too early in the year, ended up getting overlooked by a lot of essentially better games subjectively in a lot of people's eyes as you progress through the year. So that's probably why it wasn't my number one, because it was high up there at the beginning of the year.
Recency bias. The internet is moving so that goddamn quick. You be forgetting stuff come out. And it's unfortunate. So timing really does matter when you're releasing your stuff. My number 3 goes to Remnant 2. A lot of y'all brought that up. This is a game. It's crazy this ended up for number 3 to me, because this game wasn't even on my radar for this year. But our mod Homeless Girl, she just kept pounding at us against us in the head, talking about some Remnant 2. You got to try it. I'm like, all right, bro. We didn't have nothing to play at the time. We hopped on it, and like, it sounds stupid. A Souls-like third-person co-op shooter. I'm like, how does that even work? But it does, and I think it's because I think the boss design in this game, it had some of the best boss fights.
Unique.
Yeah, which speaking of boss fights too, by the way, I'm gonna give you some clout. I don't think Wulong is a top 5, but I will say Lubu was one of the best boss fights of this year. But anyways, Remnant 2, the GameCube, you had to fight a big ass GameCube. You had to fight like the spinning laser where you had to jump from like platform to platform. It wasn't just the shooting, it was just the boss design was top tier. And then on top of that, because the levels were procedurally generated, it encouraged you to play with a friend, because there was plenty of times where me and Siggy were playing and he was like, oh, that wasn't in my playthrough. I'd be like, oh, that wasn't in my playthrough. This was the closest game I think to, and not in terms of like content and like fun, but like the closest thing it gave me to like that kind of mysterious aspect Elden Ring had, where it was like there's no way I could have found everything by myself. I had to play with somebody, and it kind of gives that old school feel to games that I like, that I feel like the internet has ruined, where a game comes out and then a day later IGN drops a video, the top 50 Easter eggs in a game, and But it's like Remnant 2, you really had to explore. So like I enjoy that type of aspect of the game. And also the shooting, it was just tight. It was fun making your own build. The story, I couldn't tell you what the fuck was going on in it. I don't know what it is with these Souls-like games. Liza P got it right, but it's very rare, these Souls-like games. I don't know what's going on with the story. We got to work on that.
That final boss, too. I still hate that final boss.
Talking about Nameless Puppet?
No, in Remnant 2.
Oh, yeah.
I hated that. I hated that fucking boss.
You had to fight the devil, basically. That shit was crazy. I mean, he should have been hard. That makes sense.
When he got phase 2, that's when I lost my mind. When I found that out for the first time, we wasted all of our utility trying to get to it, and it was like I lost my shit when that whole let's play fucking Dance Revolution. So
that final boss fight, that damn near blinded you. Should have had like an epilepsy warning, but that second phase was creative when he would shoot the waves at you and you had to dodge like certain types
and then teleport you in and out over and over again.
It was annoying, and I halfully respect it because it was creative. It was.
I felt like I went cross-eye. I felt like I literally went cross-eye.
We're also getting old too, so like we just
I'm a zoomer, not a zoomer.
I'm playing Baldur's Gate 3 right now, and people be like, "You don't see that on the map?" I'll be like, "Bro, I don't fucking see it, bro. Let me zoom in on my glass."
I like how like now that like we're becoming boomers, I like how now Baldur's Gate is like, oh, perfect, my pace. I can play this game.
Take a bathroom break between each turn, bro.
I'm so old. Like I play Fortnite Zero Build, and even for me, I'm just like I'm so old. I'm like even that is like this is a little bit too much for me, guys. I can't slow down. Let me catch up with you guys. So.
One last thing too. Another reason you could tell I liked Remnant 2. Once again, I don't buy DLC. I bought the DLC for Remnant 2, and me and Siggy played through it. I think we were the only two. Which the boss fight in it was fire, by the way. It was really cool. So that goes to my number 3 spot. I look forward to the next one. And it's cool too because the game was only like $40 at launch. It had way more content than a lot of these other games. Definitely play Remnant 2 if you haven't. I think it's on Game Pass right now. I think they dropped 1 and 2 on the Game Pass. You can play it.
That was one of the surprises, before the end of the year.
Yep. Give us your number 2, Myth.
Coming up from everything that everyone else has already said, Jedi Survivor as well for me, but it goes to number 2 for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything you wanted to add to that about what you liked about it?
Maybe just a little bit more emphasis on like the boss fights. I really, really enjoyed the bosses and like the characters that they had for the boss fights. I remember I think what surprised me a lot about that game is, how do I word it? From boss fight to boss fight, I didn't feel like I was able to just rely on one style of fighting the boss, like just bosses in general.
I had to switch my stances up a couple times. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. And I think that was something really special for me, especially coming off of playing like Sekiro or playing Elden Ring, where Elden Ring, you roll. You just got to time your rollings, or in Sekiro, you time your parries. This one, it was like, oh, with this boss, I really need to be careful about being aggressive or keeping my distance, because he has this ability that'll just, he thrives off of having a gap between you and the other player. So that was really special about that game, and that's what made me really, really enjoy it. But other than that, I mean, everything that you guys said was just, it nailed it on the dot. Everything that y'all said was key.
Shout out to Darth Vader. That was the worst year of his life. He got whooped by Obi-Wan, and then he got whooped by got saved by plot armor. She definitely was about to kill him. She definitely was about to kill him.
That was one of the most, hey, don't spoil it for people, but that was a bullshit ass
It's over a year on they haven't played. That's too bad. It's been so long.
Oh my goodness. Ethos, give us your number 2.
All right. My number 2 is Baldur's Gate 3.
What?
I'm surprised it's not your number 1. I'm actually surprised.
This is a shocker. Okay, go ahead.
Don't get me wrong. I love this game. I played it before it came out in August. I played it with a group of friends back in like June when there was like nothing to play. We're just like, oh, we'll just play this. It was when it was early access, so you only had access, I think, all of Act 1 and a little bit of 2. We played a little bit of it for a couple hours. Like, okay, maybe we'll wait till they fully flesh it out, because it was a little buggy. Then the full game came out. All the reviews started hitting, and everybody was like, at least on PC, a lot of people were talking like, "Hey, like this is some gas." And we had already played it during early access, so we were like, "Okay, let's hop back on." That's what we said. So I played the entire campaign with 3 friends the entire time. So it took us longer. I didn't beat it until this last month, because trying to get 4 people on different schedules to play a game for multiple hours is difficult. Yeah. But played it. I obviously I'm not gonna say much because I don't want to spoil you because you're playing it right now. But I loved it. It literally is like reminds me so much of like Elden Ring. It has like everything that I want. It's like a mixture of like if you like Mass Effect or any of the old school BioWare games, I feel like you'll be right at home with this game. I know there's some people that are just turned off by the turn-based combat a little bit, but every single person I've tried to tell this to, I'm like, give it a chance. I try to tell people this. Even with Siggy, I was like, just give it a shot. And what happened to you guys? Where do we catch Siggy? What was going on, man? He swore.
He saves just context. By the way, his playthrough is hella fraudulent. Have you seen him play the game?
I was watching it. We were playing another game. It was me, Apex, and JoJo, and then we were just in a room just watching Siggy play, and we were cracking up the whole time. Like, yo, Siggy, do this. What is Siggy doing? Like, oh my god. Like, yeah, he's screwed up multiple times. But hey, I let people play it however they want to. So everything he does has a consequence in the later act. So I'm gonna be cracking up when his shit ends in a very funny way. I'll just give a great example. Siggy is a big Zelda fan, so like he was convinced, like he was like, Tears of the Kingdom's gonna win. And I was telling him, I was like, I played this when we did the podcast back in I think August or September, and I was like, I'm playing this Baldur's Gate. I'm telling you right now, like I don't think there's anything this year that can touch this. This is just insane.
Yeah, it's your number 2.
Yeah, and then Siggy was like hating. He said, "All right, if it wins Game of the Year at the Game Awards, I'll play it." It won, so he was like, "All right, I'm gonna play it." He started hating on it the moment he started playing it, but then we caught him like 3 days in at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Here he was playing Baldur's Gate, playing for 3 hours straight on Steam. He was like, "Oh yeah, we got it."
He was playing on the clock, and we caught him playing on the clock. He was like,
playing on the clock at work.
I was streaming and I opened up my Steam. It was like 10 in the morning. I'm like, "Ain't he working?" I was like, "All right, bro,
what you doing playing Baldur's Gate?" 4-hour session deep. Like, yeah, I thought you hated this game. So yeah, he's been loving it. I think it's an amazing game. I totally see why it's gotten all the accolades and stuff like that. Amazing story, amazing cast, amazing writing, all that sort of stuff. Definitely push the needle forward. Shout out to the devs.
Now
I need to play it. I need to play it so badly.
Now I'm curious to what's your number 1. Jay, what's your number 2?
My number 2 goes to Liza P. Like I said, I was battling between this and Wo Long, towards the end of the year, but Lies P ultimately won. I think what ultimately got it over the top for me was just the story. Like, even though Wo Long had an amazing story, like it's not something that I haven't seen before, even though they try to switch it up. But Lies P ended up just. It was an amazing element there, amazing environment. The story actually made sense there. You actually had choices that could affect what ends up happening at the end of the game. So it was dope. And once you start fully getting into it, start upgrading, start getting new weapons, finding out how everything works in the world, and it ends up becoming like almost like again, like T-Base said, one of the best Soulsborne games of this year. And it can definitely hold. It could definitely hold its own, especially not being from Software, because From Software just that's they just spit out from Soulsborne games and they're amazing. But having this this seemingly unknown publisher come through and create something like this, and everybody thought it was a joke. I remember we were like what the hell are we gonna play a Soulsborne game in a Pinocchio world? Like what is that? Like we were like this doesn't make any sense. And then we ended up playing. We was like, okay, like this is actually pretty dope.
Pinocchio,
like I actually like this.
They made him cool.
Yeah, right. And I found myself playing this a lot more, and I even knew Game Plus it because I intentionally want to piss everybody else, mainly Siggy and TBH, picking the Mickey Mouse ending and seeing what happens. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna double back so I can face the true ball. So I'm actually almost there. So I'm gonna hop on it again.
Oh, stream that, please. Stream that.
I would. I know. I'm gonna do it.
Why do you do that, JG? I feel like for the last 3 games you've done that, like where you didn't do the true ending, and then you're just like, I gotta go back and do it.
Well, Sekiro, I honestly made a mistake.
You didn't know. Yeah, you didn't know.
Yeah, I didn't know. It's like, I didn't know. But it became a meme at that point because y'all was all get over. Y'all was like, oh, you ain't facing Sword Saint for real with Sekiro. So I was like, okay.
You ain't fight Ishin. You ain't really fight Ishin.
Yeah. You ain't fight Ishin the Sword Saint. That's the real boss. So I was like, okay, well, I'll go back. I'll do Game Plus it and go back and play it again. So like I said, I did the same thing here because I knew what was going to happen. So I was like, I would do this on stream so he could get back. He was like, ooh, Mickey Mouse. I was like, I got you. I'm like, I got you. So no, it's a meme at this point now. So that's the only reason why I did it.
Let me ask you a question before I share my number 2. This is a thought I had like randomly the other day. I was looking at my top games of this year, and several of them are Souls-like games, as well as like last year. It seems like that's the trend in the industry right now. Are we worried about fatigue? Too many Souls-like games, basically, being fatigued out on them, or can you never get tired of this genre?
For
I don't
me,
think so.
Yeah, for me, I would say no. Yeah, I would say no.
What about you, Myth?
I say no just because of the nature of the game. I think the game is all like the thing that trips me out about Souls games is that they don't want you to play them, like unless you like they want you to quit. Yeah, unless you're like a really committed. So I think that will always be the allure is frustration, and so when a game doesn't click in a Souls-like game, it feels wrong, not because it's difficult, because there's something underlying with the mechanics that just feel like shit. So there are games that are really easy to toss to the side and be like, that's not it. But then when they do work and it is difficult and it's fun, it's such a rewarding experience. So that's why I really don't think that there'll ever be something that that I get tired of personally.
Okay, what about you, Ethos?
Yeah, I kind of agree. There's been a lot of Soulsborne games that have like clones that have come out even before this. Like there was quite a bit, I think, after Dark Souls 3 and like 2. Like there was a bunch of other studios trying to replicate that formula. But the thing is, that formula that FromSoft developed, it's very difficult to replicate. And like I think both Myth and JG said, no game. It's something about specifically FromSoft where they can tweak the formula and they can make changes to it. We're like, I remember before Elden Ring came out, a lot of people were just like, okay, you're just going to take the form solo and what, put it in an open world? That doesn't make sense, or that's not going to really work, or it's going to mess up the flow of the game, because usually that's been the thing about the linear Dark Souls. Is that it was like, that was like a lot of people were pushing that before the game. Then the game came out and people were like, they figured it out. Like, and they always seem to do that where like they'll push the boundary, they'll add a new twist to the formula, and they'll be like, a lot of the people who've played the other ones will be like, how does this work? Or that doesn't make sense. And then people play and be like, oh wow, genius. Like they can do no wrong.
Wow, genius.
Yeah, genius. So like I don't think that's it. I just think it's just a lot of the reason why we're feeling it now, especially this year, is it seems like now a lot of the people that are being inspired by FromSoft, they're starting to get the like what makes From Software games tick very well. And that's why, like, for example, Star Wars, I'd agree with you guys. Say like Jedi Survivor, if you play that on the hardest difficulty, it feels like playing Sekiro. It feels like if you think about it, Jedi Survivor plays like Sekiro, like the deflecting mechanics with the lightsabers. Like, I know for a fact, like the developer said they were inspired by Sekiro when they developed that system. Another example, God of War. When they rebooted God of War, Corey was on record along with their main gameplay designer. They were on record in a video saying that their biggest inspiration for when they rebooted was Dark Souls. Like that's why he's grounded. He doesn't jump as much. It's funny too, because in Elden Ring, they decide on giving your character a jump where you didn't have that before. So yeah, just stuff like that where it's like they always just do these little things that make the formula feel fresh and new, and then everybody else starts to like add their own twist. Like I say, Lies of P is a great example of that. It's like, how do we take this formula that's already been done, but we add a new setting to it? That's a new twist. How do we add the whole lying mechanic? That's a new twist. That's why it feels refreshing. The only time this is gonna get bad is if they just we're just gonna copy Elden Ring, the same setting, and that's it, and call it a day. Like,
I think that's why I couldn't get into Lords of the Fallen, because I tried to play that.
It's too much like it's too much like.
But it's like a jankier version of it too. I was like, I dropped Siggy.
The lantern thing is cool. That's a cool little twist, but it's not. It doesn't feel as refined.
I didn't like that shit.
I felt like it was gimmicky once you got to it. But
Ethos, I think you bring up a great point. It's something in the shooter space, there's like, I think it's probably the most populated part of the industry when it comes to duplicates or like games that are just making other copies of them. And if you just make a copy of another game,
not good.
It's simply not enough. You're not going to, there's no way you're doing it as good as they are. This massive studio that has been doing it for like 5+ years, if that. And so, like you said, duplicate isn't enough. You kind of need to find your own twist, your own way to kind of make something happen. And it's got to work with the equation as well at the same time. So yeah, I thought that was a really good point you brought up.
Myth, are you pro or anti Titanfall 3?
I'm pro Titanfall 3.
Okay,
just
making sure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Brother in arms.
Just making sure.
Yes, sir.
That's what the shooter space needs. Titanfall 3, baby.
Titanfall will save us.
Right.
Halo Infinite had a chance. They had a good chance, man. All we got is. What do you play, Myth? Like, what's like the shooter right now that you're just like?
Spice right now is the finals.
Okay, so it's the finals right now. Okay, I was curious.
I like it, but they don't like it.
I fucking hate. I should like it. I'm a big Battlefield person. I feel like I should like it. It mechanically feels like Battlefield. The destruction's fantastic. It's just I just hate the game modes.
Mechanically doesn't feel like Battlefield. What mechanic?
It's made by the DICE devs. It's made by the same people who made Battlefield 5 and 4. So like to me, it feels a lot like Battlefield 5 did. But I just don't like. I don't like the time to kill. That's the thing. I know they made it faster. I still don't like it. It's too slow for me. Specifically, I hate shooting the big dudes. Like they just annoy me where they just turn around and then they just obliterate you because I play the smaller dude.
Who did you play when you played the game?
Shot. Who, me?
Yeah.
I played mostly small and sometimes middle if I had to be utility. But like most of the time I would be like the smaller running gun type class with the grapple hook. I played like Titanfall. I felt the time to kill was way too long.
Oh, the time to kill. Oh, they fixed that.
I die. No, I played it with you guys. I die super fast, how I expect to die. But the damn big guys, they have like as if they play like Halo type of kill.
Yeah.
I know, but it fucking sucks. I hate it. I hate it so much. And I'm old. I can't shoot that well. So like, I try to use the revolver, and I'm just not that good like I used to be. So I can't just shoot them with the revolver.
I will say the thing about that game is it allows absolutely no heroics. So it's like, it sounds like you're trying to like spin around and
I did play solo, to be fair. I did play solo.
The unfortunate thing is you have to team fight in that game and you have to make call outs. But once you get a team that clicks, you're like, I get it. It's flowing. You'll start. Me and Siggy was tearing through people, bro.
It has, hands down, it is like some of the best gameplay loop flow in a shooter that I've played in years. Years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That game, I mean, it's so good. It's so. I remember playing it initially, and I was like, this game's gonna flop if they don't fix performance. And because I was playing it at like 80 frames on my PC, and I was like, there's no way this game's gonna survive. They released it, and my mind was blown that I was able to run this game at like 200 frames, building, collapsing. I just love how dynamic the game is and how good every part of it feels on every front. It's definitely they did a really, really good job on that title.
I read one of the reasons why that game is so optimized is because all of the destruction in the game, because I was playing on Xbox because my PC old, it runs on Xbox flawlessly. And the reason being is all the destruction is done server side, is done in the cloud, so everybody's seeing the same thing at the same time. I was like, I haven't heard of that before. That's fire. It sounds like
that's what Xbox said
Xbox Cloud.
Yeah,
is the cloud real?
They did what Crackdown 3 was trying to do. That's why it runs so well. I was like,
they
that's
weren't
fucking
lying.
crazy.
Yeah.
I made it work.
Yeah, so I was like, I'm not mad at that. It's a dope game. My number 2, everybody's talked about it already, but Star Wars Jedi Survivor. For the longest, this was my number 1 game of the year, and I had a hard time coming to grips with letting it go and knocking it down, but I had to, and we'll talk about that later. But Star Wars Jedi Survivor, I mean, y'all said pretty much everything. The only thing I can add on to it, I feel like y'all didn't talk about. One of the reasons I did really love this game compared to the first one was the platforming in it. I'm a sucker for platformers because I grew up, I'm a Mario kid, Jack and Daxter. This motherfucker was running and jumping all over the place in terms of exploration, the level design, the scale. I like that shit, bro. Climbing on top of the walls and shit. He felt like a ninja pretty much.
He did. He was. And
then also too, I don't think anybody talked about this. In terms of the story, I got to give kudos to Respawn because it's like everybody was saying the story is fire, but more importantly, I don't know how the fuck they did it, but they crafted a fire story that does not fuck up the Star Wars timeline. It actually adds to it. And I thought that was the most impressive thing about it. The fact that they were able to add to the conversation, but without taking away from the legacy. Because I do feel like that's some of the issue they're having with the Disney Plus shows. So the fact that they were able to just kind of squeeze in and add a little bit more context, I am genuinely curious to see where they're going to go with this third game. Because there were some crazy implications at the end of the second one. And also, I played it on Xbox, so I think my perception of the game is a little bit skewed. I heard the PC one has problems, but I heard the PS5 one does too. I had a frame drop every once in a while on Xbox, but for the most part, I think it does run best on the Xbox. So I was like, I didn't really run into too many performance issues, and I think that did skew my perception, but I understand people did have those issues. And from my understanding, the PS5 version is still fucked, so that sucks. But if you can get the version that's running really well, I love Star Wars Jedi Survivor, a game I think at the Game Awards that kind of got, like Liza P, kind of got shoved under the radar.
Yeah.
I think due to recency bias.
I must have gotten really lucky because I played that shit on PC and it was like smooth all the way through to like the very end.
What GPU you got?
Wild. I was running a 3090.
Oh, that's why. Your GPU is probably just eating that shit alive.
I mean, but that's also what I had, and I had multiple crashes in the beginning. So,
well, you know the 3090 you had, JG was
that first one, but no, the second one I got
30 nuke. That's what he had.
The second one I got, it was nice. It was definitely the game.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I played on 3080. It was going wrong. Like it was totally playable for me. There was just some points where it'd be hovering around the 45, 50 range, and sometimes it'd hit that 40 range, and I could feel it. But most of the time, like it wasn't like it hit 20 FPS and I was watching like a slideshow trying to play it. So yeah.
I'm more surprised that because it was literally like a week ago, somebody told me that the PS5 version still runs like shit. I'm so surprised more than anything that Respawn hasn't done anything to kind of address.
They're too busy on Apex. They don't give a fuck about Jedi.
That's right. They did just drop the cloud Final Fantasy.
They're too busy dropping some Final Fantasy crap. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm done with that.
I think they're done trying to update that game. I think it's way
they don't
past the
care
point.
anymore.
Yeah, they made their money.
That sucks.
They got their Star Wars money.
All right, it is time, ladies and gentlemen. We are an hour into the show. Everybody's number 1 myth. You're the guest. Give us your favorite game of 2023.
Right. As the shooter head I am, it's going to the finals, man. It's going to the finals. I have so much respect for when people are able to come into the space and have a meaningful contribution and create an avenue for themselves in the lane around like these kings that just hold like millions of players forever. And I mean, you look at the Steam charts of this game after a month of releasing and they're still hitting concurrently, like I think 100,000.
Still one of the biggest games,
over the course of a month. And to me, that's really impressive. My only question for them is what long-term retention looks like over the course of like a year for that live service game and that model. But I think they could do some really, really fun and creative things in that space regarding like adding new weapons and maps and shit to keep it fresh and keep players kind of coming back for a little bit more per class. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. I haven't played a game. I guess the last time I felt, there's this feeling that I try to communicate to people when I'm playing shooters that is like the hunt of like attacking another player or like strategizing against another player. And Apex on release gave me that feeling where it felt like no matter what I was doing in the game, I was always on the hunt for the next thing, whether that was a player or a piece of gear or loot or whatever. And this game serves me that feeling of the hunt every single time I queue into a lobby with a 3-stack without failure. So it's really, really impressive. I'm really impressed by what they did. And even when you're ahead in the game, there is like a new way of playing it because you have such a big money advantage. There's an economy system, and you like try to prevent other players from gaining economy after you've had a really big cash out. So yeah, man, it's just, there's something about that game that's really magical that I really, really like.
I really like the game too. I have the same question with you too, like the longevity of it, and the actual reason too is because of I feel like there is a lack of game modes. There's only 2, and they're kind of similar. I don't like the main game mode when you basically have to get the money and you put it in the machine, the ATM, and then you have to basically wait like 5 minutes. And then what sucks is like within like the last 10 seconds, somebody can kill you, then take the money. To me, it's very deflating. I don't like that. I would like to see them add a mode where like the money slowly drains over time and the team with the most money at the end wins. I just want to see them do some variations on it because like I don't know if that game mode has.
They have that game mode.
They added that?
So there's another game mode called, I think it's like Cash It or something. And basically every elimination you kill somebody and they drop like a coin, and you could collect the coins and go deposit them instantly, and the team with the most coins at the end wins.
That's more like the tag, the dog tag mode.
Kill confirm.
Yeah, that's more like kill confirm. Yeah, I do like that mode more than the other one, but I'm talking about one that's similar to the first one, where it's literally
got it.
Yeah, you're defending it and you're also earning money. Yeah. I feel like that would be a fun mode as well as like adding some other stuff. But I'm not mad at that pick. I think it's a dope game. Ethos, give us your number 1.
All right. There's very good context for this, but I know a lot of you were like shocked I didn't pick Baldur's Gate. But I really was thinking about this for a long while, and I'm gonna push my agenda till I die to feel fully vindicated. I'm giving it to Cyberpunk. I'm giving it to Cyberpunk.
I do. BG3 was the number 2.
I'm giving it to Phantom Liberty. I mean, the DLC itself, the expansion itself, is literally like a full brand new game within itself. That's outside of them just changing the base game, but the DLC is like a 30-hour expansion that feels like its own game itself. I mean, this was a game that I loved at launch, even with the problems it had. I said back in 2020, I was like, I feel like this will become a cult classic, and that over time, I think people will start to give it a fair shake and realize that there was actually like a really good game here that I feel unfortunately just got shat on because of like a lot of the performance issues and at launch bugs. And like I give CD Projekt a lot of credit is that, you know, I'd say it's a redemption story very similar to No Man's Sky, where they put their heads down, they busted their asses. I think they even the fucking CDPR, they fucked up so bad. They said we spent over $100 million fixing the game and putting it close. And I feel like this is the closest I think it's ever gotten to what that original vision of what they wanted Cyberpunk to be like. I loved it. Idris Elba just fucking murders it in the expansion. I cannot praise enough how good his performance is in this game. And even the other characters in the game, like Songbird, she does a phenomenal job as well. It is honestly the closest I've ever played a actual like 007 Bond game that feels so close to the actual like movie experience of watching 007 in game form. It is phenomenal. They even have the score is god tier as always. And I mean, the story, that's something that Cyberpunk's always done really good. The story for this is insane. Like it's fucking depressing. It's a whole bunch of pain. The whole fucking expansion is just more pain, but I love this shit, bro. I inject this shit in my veins. I love the genre. I love the setting. So it's got to be my number 1. I really was like, it's between that and Baldur's Gate. And I really thought about it like Cyberpunk. That for me, that felt like it's been a 3-year journey with Edge Runners and everything else. And seeing it finish off with his swan song being this, I got to give it to them. So it's my favorite.
It's
game.
Interesting that you kept talking about Journey and the Cyberpunk DLC being like your favorite game of the year, because I think it kind of naturally meshes with your journey and your maturation. Because like, you remember when we first met this dude, JG, and like he was talking about death of the industry, microtransactions, DLC. This nigga's favorite game was a piece of DLC. That's crazy. But hey, I'm proud of you. You grew up. You appreciated it for what it is. You know, I'm not mad at that. I wish that's another one I wish I got to play. I might be able to play this year because I don't feel like there's as many games as.
If there's nothing coming out, I try to tell people if there's anything I could ever push on to people is if you thought you liked Cyberpunk initially, or maybe you liked the idea of it, but you didn't finish it because you're just like, this is just too much like buggy. I would honestly say this is like, I cannot recommend enough. This is 100% a game you should play, especially now. It does not feel anything like what anybody played back then. It feels like a completely brand new game. So, and get the DLC too. It's worth it, 100%. Would highly recommend.
There you have it. JG, what's your game of the year?
Armored Core 6. Armored Core 6.
Actually,
it's funny because now I'm looking at my list. I'm like, I got 5 Souls games. If you
What a
include Star Wars, yeah, I got 5 Souls games. So there you go.
He likes what he likes, man.
Armored Core 6 was yet another game on the list that I had no, intention of playing. I didn't play any of the previous Armored Core games. Ethos had a conversation with me and TBH on this very podcast, and he was like, look, I play Armored Core. I think the Armored Core 6 is going to be fire. I was wondering why people were so excited about it. I was like, I like mechs, but I'm not super into mechs, and I had no clue what Armored Core is about. Like, I can't even tell you a piece of gameplay from any of the previous Armored Cores that I even looked at. But I was like, okay, Ethos was very convincing about how Armored Core 6 is going to be fire. I said, all right, I will try it out. And boy, did I try it out. When I played this game, I was like, yo, the customization just blew me away. Like Ethos said before, it's so many different ways that you can create your mech, from colors to the weapons when you unlock everything. I like the fact that this game was not an open world experience. I like the fact that it had levels. Again, that's not something that we typically deal with in 2023. Just levels. You go from this level to this level. You complete the objective, you fight the boss. And I like those type of things because again, it's not something that that we experience as much anymore. The bosses and Ethos already explained this before. It's not as difficult as other Souls games, but there were still some skill checks, some serious skill checks. We literally told you about the helicopter that was getting people upset, and they were refunding the game. The helicopter was easy as hell to someone who plays Souls games, but to somebody who just wanted to get into it, it gave them a bit of a doozy. And then when you got the Baltius, everybody was talking about Baltius in the beginning.
Big boy Baltius.
Baltius was putting people through the ringer, put me through the ringer. I had to switch up my mech, just to beat him. He was killing me before they nerfed him. They nerfed him. Now he Mickey Mouse now. So now everybody could beat him, but Baltius was a skill check. It was crazy, like how many skill checks that you ran into that literally forced you to, think about the way that you made your mech and think about the way that you can maneuver. But it was just so fast paced. Like I loved it. It still felt like a Souls game, but it was just in mech form. Like I thoroughly enjoyed, that experience, just going through level to level. And again, Ethos was talking about the New Game Plus system. The New Game Plus system, I typically don't play New Game Plus at all. I'm like, why? Like I beat the game, I'm done with it. But New Game Plus, again, it added more elements to it, and that's what I thoroughly enjoyed because it forced
what elements did it add?
They added new missions, so you literally had more choices as you went through missions that you can do, and it led to a different timeline. It led to a different ending if you went through that path. So you have, was it 3 different endings? Yeah, I think it's three
different
endings.
Yeah, and each of them have a different boss that shows up at the end of that. You have to fight.
You can't.
And they're mechanically different.
Yeah, you can't even get the true, whatever the true ending is when you're going through it the first time. So, if you thoroughly enjoy it, you have to play it at least 2 more times to get that ending. So I like that aspect as well. Like it was just so many things that, again, from software, they just continue to push the needle with their titles that they made. And, for Armored Core 6, it was a cult classic. Everybody was, asking for it, and they finally brought it out, and it didn't disappoint for me. And again, for it being, so late in the life cycle, I'm like, bro, I don't think that I had as much fun with any other game, and I had a lot of fun this year, but I didn't have as much fun as I did with Armored Core. I spent a lot of time within it, and I just thoroughly enjoyed it from beginning to end.
What was your favorite weapon?
The Stinger. The Stinger and the shotguns.
Yeah, the Stinger and the shotguns.
Yeah, bro, it was fire. But yeah, and then I forgot whatever that sword was that you can actually slice through. I forgot what it was called.
Darth Maul ones or the.
No, well, kind of like the Darth Maul ones, but the one where you didn't actually have to actually hit them or slice them. It was the one.
The moon blade, the one that's in the other.
Yeah, that one. That was my favorite. Yeah.
See, there's no reason for me to even go back and play Armored Core 6. Y'all just gonna say it's Mickey Mouse playthrough anyway because they nerfed it.
Absolutely. Oh yeah,
there's literally no reason for me to go back and play. It's gonna be a fraud. It's like when Anon beat Millennia. Like, bro, they nerfed her 3 times already. It doesn't count. What's the name? That's a good pick though. So my game of the year, It was about 10
No way.
hours in. It was 10
No
hours.
way.
It was
No
10
way.
It's Baldur's Gate 3. It was 10.
Wow.
Listen, just hear me out. Hear me out. I was
You
10
fucking
hours into playing the game. I was streaming the game. Right off rip, when I was the first couple hours, I was like, I like this game. I was like, this is cool. I see why it got nominated and why it won Game of the Year. But I still wasn't completely sold. It was about 10 hours in. I made it to like this goblin like village.
Yeah.
And what's the name? I ran into, there was like a shed on the side. This is like a minor spoiler. It's a side mission. It doesn't matter. I found a shed and there was some noise coming out of the shed. I'm like, what the fuck is that? That sounds like two people fucking giving back shots, right? I was just joking. I walk over to the shed. I open it. It was two goblins fucking. This nigga was throwing back shots on, bro. And like in the game doesn't hold back. Do. And, like there's a clip of me. I fucking lost it. I was dying and laughing because I just did not expect that shit. So you interrupt them, right? He's like, what the fuck are you doing? And then basically what I love about Baldur's Gate 3, and I don't know if I've heard anybody say this, the game never tells you no. So like in that moment, I had a chance to like just back away, be like, oh, my bad. I interrupted their sex. I said, fuck both of you. I killed everybody in that room, bro. That shit was lit. Okay, and then here's like another moment of why this fucking game is so great, right? This is another like minor story spoiler. It's at the very beginning. You're gonna run into this place called the Drove. It's a big camp, and there's a devil type of race, and they ask you to help them defend it from like the dark elves. But they say before, the teams, whatever, it's nerd shit. But before you go to war, the dude asks you, yo, try to go talk to the dark elves so we can't, a fight doesn't break out. They try to be diplomatic. So I go talk to the dark elf. She says, how about instead of helping defend, why don't you help me take over the Grove? And I said, you know what? I'm going to help you. So then we go back to the Grove. We take it over. The dude's like, how dare you betray me? I thought we were friends. I kill everybody in the fucking Grove. And then the moment I got done killing everybody in the Grove, I killed that dark elf too. and I ran her pockets. The chat was fucking, I'm a double agent in this game, bro. This game lets you do whatever the fuck you want to do. It's like, the story's like Mass Effect on crack, bro.
Yeah.
And like
that's why I knew you like it. I was like, this reminds me so much of like how Mass Effect 1 and 2 felt. Yeah.
Yeah, and like the combat, like for people who don't like turn-based, I feel like that shit has gotten such a dirty stigma attached to it. Yeah. If you like chess, you will like this game. It's chess with better graphics, but then there's also a bunch of other stuff. There's like the dice rolling element, which is like, I was a little worried about that, but it's cool. It creates like a fun, unsuspecting, like you never know what you're gonna get type of situation.
You can manipulate your odds, but it's not always a guarantee. Yeah,
and there's so much content. I'm still only on Act 1, so like the last 2 weeks I've been grinding the fuck out of this game to prepare for this conversation, because I was like, I just want to make sure I get enough time on it before I give it definitive attention. I have not even gotten to Act 2. I'm 40 hours in, and I've seen so much content, so much stuff, and people are coming in watching me stream. I never seen that in the game. I never seen somebody do that. Yeah. Like they're seeing things in my playthroughs they never seen. It's definitely a labor of love. And I enjoy the combat as well. It's kind of what Ethos said earlier. Like I'm at a point in my life where I'm like, this isn't bad. Like
this is my pace.
yeah, slowing it down. It's cool, but like the effects are really cool with the combat. Yeah. All the different the character creator is very deep. The graphics are great. It's not a surprise to me that it won Game of the Year, and I haven't even beaten the game yet. And it was really hard for me to be like, God damn, I was like, this kind of is better than Star Wars. I have to be objectively fair. Like, I was like Siggy
with Zelda. It's the exact same thing where he just sat there. He's like, damn, this might actually be better.
I get it. I'm a Baldur's Gate fan. I'm not gonna lie, the shit's mad nerdy because it is based in the Dungeons and Dragons universe. So like, I don't understand all this shit, and like, you sound mad nerdy talking about level 12 paladins and shit, but I mean, keep an open mind.
You're gonna lock in. You're gonna sound like that by the time when you get Act 2 and you fully understand all the mechanics. You're gonna start sounding like that.
I think I'm at a point where I fully understand the mechanics already, because one of the things that's happening while I'm streaming, and it's kind of pissing me off, it's almost like people don't even listen to me. I've said my favorite Final Fantasy is Final Fantasy Tactics. I like XCOM. I played Fire Emblem. I play these games. And like every time I fucking stream this game, like literally 2 days ago when I was streaming it, I got to a boss fight. And I washed him in the first try. And everybody in the chat was like, oh, this boss fight's hard. You about to get washed. Washed him in the first. Yo, you're pretty good at this game, TBH. I'm like, yo, I play these fucking games, bruh. Like, it's just y'all haven't seen me stream one because it's been a while. Yeah. I do this. But I was like, I do this shit, bruh. I'm really like that. But Baldur's Gate 3 is fire. It's 100%. Give it a chance. I actually want to see you play it, JG. I've been enjoying. It's fun. It's fun to watch too. Watching Siggy play. And the reason I said his playthrough is fraudulent is not because of like the choices he makes. Is because what's the name? He be save scumming like a motherfucker, bro.
I'm gonna tell you how crazy it is. It's so crazy. I didn't even know there was a hotkey you could be pressing to just auto reload your save. I've never, the whole time I played with 3 other people, I never did that
in my entire life.
This man
literally will make one mistake. He'll do a bad roll. He'll just hit F5.
He'll attack and then reload the last save until he hits the attack, bro. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. This fraudulent ass playthrough, bro. His playthrough is Mickey Mouse.
I thought it was gonna be like fraudulent as like he just like goes around killing whatever, but no, that's actually fraudulent.
I'm talking just dice rolls.
He doesn't live with his decisions. He constantly reloads the game, and I'm just like, bro, because literally, like, you can save it at any point. Like mine is set to my enter key on the keyboard, so anytime something happens, enter, and it quick saves the shit. Like it's a really good system. But that's my favorite game of the year. Can't recommend it enough. What's the name? I'm excited to see how the rest of it plays out. That's what I'm going to be playing until Tekken 8 comes out. I think I can finish it at the pace I'm moving. We'll see.
Remember how I made that joke and I said that it was going to be stream 120 and you're still on Act 1?
Yeah, but everybody was telling me Act 2 and 3 are not as long though.
3 is the shortest, but 2 is pretty long as well. Like one's the longest I feel, and 2 feels almost as long because I know you're the type of person who like to go around.
Sorry, what was your total playtime on that game?
Let's see.
If this is one of those, if you're one of those people that are always complaining that there's not enough content in your game for your $70 game, Baldur's Gate 3 is giving you a lot of content.
It took me 72 hours. Mind you, it's a little inflated because I was playing with 3 other individuals, so combat would take us longer because we had real people thinking in real time.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it took us about 72 to 75 hours to beat.
And the combat's just...
How many acts are there?
Sorry, go ahead.
3 acts.
Okay, all right.
The third one being by far the shortest one. Depending, if you go do some of the side content, it could be.
And the reason it's so easy to get lost in it, like I have 40 hours on Act 1, is because none of the content, most of the shit you're gonna be doing is side quests, but none of it. It's like Ghost of Tsushima, if you remember, like all the side quests felt like main quests.
Yeah.
Everything, the quality is so good, the voice acting, the writing, the characters, you actually care about them. It's easy to get lost. So it's like it's one of those. It's kind of like Elden Ring, where it's like it sounds intimidating, 100-hour game, but then once you get to it and you play it,
it'll
like,
click.
I understand why I got 100 hours.
It feels like a lot of people who've never played that type of game before. It feels like after the 10th hour, like a light just goes on, and they're just like, oh, I'm starting to understand how all these systems. Because I'm not gonna lie, it is overwhelming when you first start playing it, where it's just like there's this hot bar with all these skills, and you're just staring at like, what the fuck am I looking at? And you're trying to understand the percentages and all what the dice are doing, your skill tree. Like, yeah, it's a lot. Yeah. But once you get after that 10th hour, I feel like it clicks. I think my friend called it. We were playing. What was it, Dan? He described it. He said pretty much, he said this game is literally the fuck around and find out game, like simulator. And I thought about that for a while, and I was like, yeah, that's literally how I feel like it is. It's like if you go and explore and you mess with something, like you'll find out what it does. And I feel like that's really how I feel like the entire game experience feels like for that game.
Bro, there was
how long was Baldur's Gate in development for?
It was in beta since like 2020, wasn't it?
Earlier, they got so I remember it was like back in 18? When did Baldur?
I'm just curious because like it seems to me like everyone that talks about this game is like it's the new golden standard of like RPG games.
It's a 6 years. It's a labor of love. You play
6 years in development, 3 years in early access. So it's been a very long time. Yeah, this is a very long development.
Let me get another example too. Let me sell you on this game, bro. I'm walking around in the forest with my party, right? I run. So in the game, you can drink a potion so you understand animals, and the animals, based off the conversation, they can help you. So I run into a dog and a dead guy in the forest, right? I drink the potion to understand the dog. It had a British accent. I don't know why. It was fucking funny though. Start talking to the dog, and he's like, "Hey, get away!" He's like, "I smell blood on you." And he's like, "Yo, chill out, bro. Like, what is your problem?" He's like, "Look, I'm just defending my master. He's taking a nap." You look over, he's clear. The nigga's dead, bro. He's like, what are you talking about, bro? He's like, my man, he just needs some rest. right. And I was like, you know what? I was like, fuck you, dog. You gave me I killed the dog.
No! Kill everyone.
The dog fucking attacked me, bro. Hey, but his master has some good loot on him, bro. But
oh my God.
Apparently the dog can help you with like quests or something. I don't know. Like I said, the game does not tell you no. And
it sounds like how we felt about Elden Ring. Remember, like that's literally like the same conversation about Elden Ring. It was like I was doing this thing, and then I went over into this part of the map, and this big fucking. Remember when people got hit by the mimic chest? So like I was just in limb grave, minding my business. I open a chest, and I'm in goddamn Ohio. And everything is everything. I'm in Caled now. Like, yeah. Like stuff like that, where it feels the same.
Another thing, this is not going to matter to most people, but it would matter to like us on the conversation and some of our viewers because they're content creators. Surprisingly, this is a great game to stream as well, and the reason being is because it's actually turn-based. So that because you don't have to sit there and rush, and you can think about whatever you're doing. Not only is it funny to watch people's story decisions, but then also it's in between turns, like you can sit there and just talk to your chat. Like it's no rush. So it actually makes for a really good stream game too. Surprisingly. I love the game. It is what it is.
Ooh, $100 million to make this.
Sheesh. I just had this thought. Let me know what y'all think. We all just did our top 5. Nobody mentioned Spider-Man. You think we're gonna get a lot of shit in the comments?
Ooh.
No, I don't think so. Everyone's been shitting on it all month. Everyone's been making a joke of it all month.
I retweeted that.
Everyone's been shitting on it all month. Yeah.
Apparently people are turning on the apparently people are turning on the game because
my algorithm's been weird. It feels like ever since Spider-Man didn't, I've been seeing a lot of just videos popping up saying like Spider-Man 2 was disappointing, Spider-Man 2 wasn't that good. And like half of them, and now the other half was like, they were comparing with how like they were like, how did this game lose to Baldur's Gate? Look at this fucking nerd shit where they're just like pointing, clicking and shit, like that whole when they lost their minds and started crying on Twitter about it.
The only thing I can think of is maybe people felt like, because remember when Spider-Man 2 first came out, you were not allowed to say anything negative about that game. And now that like time has passed, maybe those people are finally voicing their real opinions. But I'm just kind of tired of the conversation. If you like the game, enjoy it. If you don't, that's cool too. It's not that damn deep.
Oh, forgot. Shout out to Hi-Fi Rush, my game of the year in January.
Shit.
January.
Oh my lord!
That's a game I really need to play. Actually,
I think you like it. Yeah, I think you like it. Yeah,
Hi-Fi Rush was fun.
Yeah, it's a really good game.
Yes, man.
That was good.
I did not
play
a lot of games.
A lot of games. Yeah,
your backlog must be crazy.
Yeah, your backlog. Yeah.
Catch up on, bro.
Before we run into this news real quick, do y'all have any like most anticipated games for 2024? I forgot. Anything you're looking forward to? If y'all don't have anything off the top of your head, I got some games. While y'all think, I got some games for you.
Go ahead.
Final Fantasy Rebirth.
Nice facts. I'm looking forward to that one.
I got you, Myth. I'm gonna say it.
What's up?
I'm looking forward to that Black Ops, baby. Sorry.
You know what? Ethos, I'm gonna give you a pass. I'm looking forward to the new Call of Duty 2 because it's probably gonna be on Game Pass.
It's gonna be a Game Pass.
Listen, bro, if they did the campaign the way that they just did the last campaign, bro, I'm not touching it, bro.
Yeah, if that campaign's gonna be ass, I'm gonna be mad. But like, I'm not gonna lie. I've been fiending for like that Black Ops style. I'm more of a Black Ops fan than I am.
Yeah, but no, Black Ops fire.
So.
No,
Black
I heard. This is what I heard. I heard what they did to Modern Warfare 3. They're gonna basically remake all the Black Ops 2 maps and the Black Ops 1 maps, and they're gonna put them together, and they're gonna add some new maps too. And I was like, those games had some fire maps. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't mind.
Look at this guy.
Yeah,
I don't mind a remake match. I'm a hop on.
I know, but Modern Warfare can do it. Black Ops.
They're pulling a little Disney, like make a little
the Call of Duty Vault.
It's
coming out the maps.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. They ain't made a good map in I don't know how many games. They don't know how to make good maps anymore. So I'll just take the good ones that we know are good, than them trying to make whatever the hell maps they made in 2019. And
I do miss a good Call of Duty campaign because, like, for me, when you went to the multiplayer, it was like, oh, I remember this section of the story. It gives context to the maps. So, like,
you play the Modern Warfare series?
No, that shit's ass. Yeah, I'm not playing that. I'm talking about the old Call of Duties, the old Call of Duty.
I know, but I'm talking about the 2019 Modern Warfare series campaigns.
I'm not.
That one was good. I like 19. I thought 19 was good.
1 and 2.
The second one I didn't play. I was gonna wait for it to get on Game Pass.
It blue screen my PC. Fuck that game.
Those are some of my favorite Call of Duty campaigns of all time.
Yeah, those I have to. I have to play the second one. I thought the 20. Oh my god, I hate to have to say this. The 2019 version of Modern Warfare. I like that one.
That campaign was actually it was so good.
I thought that campaign was really cool. I was surprised how good it was.
I hope they know if they really do that, what you're talking about, Ethos, where they remaster all the Black Ops maps and put it in the new game. I hope that they don't give it some confusing ass name, because I'm sorry, calling Modern Warfare 3 with all the Modern Warfare 2 maps was confusing as fuck.
I swear to God, they better not call it Call of Duty Black Ops, and we have to do the same like year convention thing to explain it. Because
you think they're gonna call it Black Ops? I think they're gonna. Then
I gotta say, I'm not gonna lie. The thing is, like, just me personally, I think Black Ops 1. Yeah, Black Ops 1 is my favorite campaign I love the story of it, and I love the plot twist that happens in the first campaign. I think it's like my favorite of all of them. If they remade it kind of like what they did with 2019 with upgrade graphics, I think I'd be hyped. I'd be really hyped to play that again with like a fresh coat of paint, as long as they don't change too many story elements. I'd love to hear the numbers, Mason. I'd love to hear that again. It's been a while, man. So yeah.
Let me give y'all some games real quick.
Yeah.
Tekken 8 is later this month. It's rumored Elden Ring's DLC is supposed to drop this year. Suicide Squad, Dragon's Dogma 2, Rise of Ronin,
cool.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Black Myth Wukong in August, Star Wars Outlaws from Ubisoft. The Wonder Woman game is rumored to come out this year, but I don't know. They haven't shown any gameplay. We'll see. And then Dragon Ball Tenkaichi 4, which they renamed Sparking Zero. That's what I wrote down as like games that like I'm looking for this year.
Am I right or wrong, or is the other title that the final devs are working on, is that dropping in 2024?
Oh, I know the one that
Raiders devs are working on another game.
Raiders. Yeah. Remember it was that like third person. They like had grapples and they were like fighting these big like robots and whatever it was.
Sick trailer.
It looked like Battlefront looking, but it was like more. Damn, I'm not gonna say Anthem.
I'm guessing it was like Destiny style. Wasn't it like an MMORPG or not?
It's called Arc Raiders, right?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure. I remember looking at it. It's a third person like.
I just googled the finals other game. I can't find nothing. I don't know what the fuck it's called.
Is this like a PvE game? Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like Tarkov with robots?
Basically Tarkov, yeah.
Okay. Hey, do you remember that story? You remember that news story of Bungie?
What's up?
Dude, I don't know if you know, Myth. Did you hear about this shit with Bungie with Marathon?
That was supposed to come out in 2024, but they pushed it to 25.
They pushed it?
Yeah.
So they invited a bunch of Tarkov creators to look at Marathon early, allegedly. Yeah, apparently this was like reported that they invited a bunch of like Tarkov devs to try it out, and then they were like at a feedback session, like they invited them to the Bungie studio to try out their version.
Tarkov devs?
No, creators. Creators
who, like, that's who they're targeting. It's an extraction shooter, so they're targeting that audience, right? Cool. So they said, all right, now that you guys have seen the game and now you got a chance to play it, how many of you raise your hand? How many of you guys are like, if we drop this tomorrow, would you guys be excited to stream play this? And nobody rose their hand.
Ooh. And it got pushed back to 2025.
And it got pushed back because of that. They were like, yeah, so.
And then Bungie just had layoffs too. They struggling over there.
Yeah, apparently it's trouble over in Bungie land right now. So.
Damn.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Yeah.
I did not hear that though. That's wild.
I got to get into Tarkov. I feel like I bought that game and I played it, but it was like 3 years ago. And I was like, this seems fun, but I'm into those like tactical shooter type shits. But
yeah, I'm really excited for all extraction shooters, like in general, as a trend in the shooter space right now.
It's like the next evolution. What do you think is going to be like the new battle royale where we'll get sick of it after like the 5th drop of it?
I feel like the streaming space needs a game that like everybody's like super excited about. Like I miss those days of like PUBG and like when Fortnite had first dropped, like fucking everybody was just on it and grinding the shit. Like I feel like everybody's kind of fragmented in terms of multiplayer. Gaming's great in the single player space, but I would agree multiplayer is kind of.
Titanfall 3 will save us all.
Titanfall 3, yeah.
Titanfall 3 would save us.
Let's dive into this news.
You know what's crazy?
Okay,
I don't know what I think is crazy. As much as we need Titanfall 3, I think if Titanfall 3 drop,
it'd be
nobody will play it.
Why you say that?
That would be interesting. Because go ahead.
Because the shooter demographic is a coddled species.
Yeah.
Oh, you're basically saying they suck? Is that what you're saying?
No, we would suck. Like,
well, no. I mean the arena like arcade shooter. I don't think the modern like kid that's playing like shooters, like arena shooters, battle royales, they don't want to sit there and learn like routes and rotations and speed bumps and momentum shifts to traverse a map in the quickest way possible that are like really hyper specific. Like they were in Titanfall 2.
So
that's my argument.
Here's why I disagree with that. All right. So this is my take. I have noticed, and it pissed me. I went on a like a huge rant. So do you know who? What's his name? Jakey. Whatever his name. Yeah, on Twitter, right?
For sure, yeah.
So he was posting videos talking about look at them discovering the new movement tech. And I know you know this, Smith.
Yeah.
A lot of those Call of Duty Zoomer kids, they're breaking Call of Duty. Like, what was the big thing they did for 3? They were like, we're going to up the movement and allow them to do the whole slide jump bullshit again, right? So they were trying to find new tech to break it. And I'm watching this as a Titanfall person. I'm like, oh my God. I was like, you fucking kids.
Yeah.
I remember that clip.
All of this was in Titanfall. Like all the tech that you're trying to break in Call of Duty was literally built into Titanfall. The way that you could exploit your movement, and the best pilots were the ones who knew how to master movement and master gunplay. That was all that Titanfall was. It was if you knew your movement tech, just like how like when Fortnite people will exploit. Like I know you were really good at it with building the Tower of Pisa, right? The people that learned and adapted to that playstyle and learned how to use that succeeded. Like they became really good at the game, and if you couldn't do that, you weren't going to be able to hang out with the big dogs. And I feel like that's what I feel like all the Zoomer kids is. I feel like nowadays, maybe I'm wrong on this, but a lot of Zoomer kids, like they want that type of tech. Like they want like when I was a kid, for me, it was Guns the Duel. Like that was like it was because the game was buggy that it was allowed this, but we got arthritis in our hands playing that shit with keyboard and mouse because we were trying to break the mechanics of the game so we could become masters at it. So
I've thought about this a lot. I thought about this a lot, and I completely agree with you. Like, I feel like kids want the tech, they want the movement, but in terms of like that, like old school, like Gun-Z style,
arena
kind of being, like it being a broken mechanic where you have to click like 4 or 5 buttons to really make this work, and you have to drill it. I don't know, outside of Fortnite, I don't know if there's another game that will like
let you do that,
that will provide that'll make people want to do that. Like I feel like they want something that has movement, they want something that has like skill expression, but it kind of needs to be easy enough to execute on a controller, especially. It's like a really tough like thing to balance out, and so that's why I think like I don't know if we'll ever get it, and if it does drop, it's gonna be like it won't. I don't know if it'll feel like the way we felt when we played Titanfall.
Yeah, I also feel like I'm just old to the point now that I think if Titanfall 3 came out, I'd be ass at it. I don't think I'm terrified. I was a monster. I was really good at 2, but like I played it 2 years after launch, and I was playing it at that point. You probably know, like there was only sweats left. It was only the people who really were about that shit, and I had to stop at that point. I couldn't keep up with everybody at that point where they were busting the movement mechanics, hitting 200 plus miles per hour, trying to get across the map. I just couldn't do it anymore. But I don't know. I agree with you. I just don't know. I feel like, I don't know. It's weird. I feel like at a time, Halo Infinite could have done it. It had the potential, and then it fucked it up.
Really?
Maybe the finals. Yeah, like I really felt like
crazy.
I really felt like the core mechanics of Halo Infinite was really good. Like I remember when we were playing it back in December when it first dropped. Like everybody was saying, like, "Oh, Halo's back, baby!" Like they just fucked up.
I was one of them. I was one of them. I loved it.
It was really solid. It was really solid.
They surprise dropped it. You know how excited people were.
That boy Golden Boy was running around the office at G4 like a little giddy anime girl. It's Drake's coming.
I downloaded it immediately. Yeah, I downloaded it immediately. Like Halo for me was that fire. Game. Like that was that shooter that like I felt like I was good at. Like I was
ready to tap back into that.
And I was like, I had my moments, and then like just the content just got old very, very quickly. Like it was probably one of the biggest drop offs in any FPS that I played in a while. Yeah. So it was sad. Yeah, but it could. I agree with you though. So it probably it had its potential.
I think Halo's an old man game now, bro.
What you mean?
Like just straight up.
I mean, I'm an old man,
it's not
for
the kids. No. Listen.
Yeah,
Let me explain. Like you look at COD. Like I think COD and Fortnite are like if ubiquitous. These are what kids are playing in the shooter space.
Yeah.
And I remember playing Halo Infinite on release, and people were like, "Time to kill is so long. I hate this." I'm like, okay, why is that? It's like it just fucking takes a long time
to get a headshot.
And
I have to aim my shots.
I try to describe to the people on my stream like how you have to kill people in Halo.
It's different,
and they were like, "Headshot."
Yeah,
headshots don't deal damage until it doesn't deal more. It was like trying to teach, how to make an atomic bomb to a high school, like just recently high school graduate. Like it just could not be computed. And then it shows when like kids like play these games, they're just like, yeah, something doesn't feel right here. And I'm like, well, yeah, you're not wrong, because it's not like
you're essentially describing the TikTok For You page has invaded first person shooters. Basically,
it has
instant gratification, frying brains.
Mm-hmm.
It has 1,000%, I think, and it's such a weird thing, man. It's such a crazy thing, especially me loving shooters. I've kind of like That's why I get so excited when I see a game like the finals come out, even though it does still kind of like play within that safe realm, but it's doing something a little bit different. But I've sat here and I've alone and I've thought multiple times. I'm like, damn, dude, is like, when are we gonna get more shooters that are, pushing the boundaries of to like what's possible or how gunfight or gunplay should feel? And I don't know.
So where does Valorant lay in there? Because I know Valorant's very like arguably one of the most popular FPSs as well. Like is that like? Because obviously it's way different than Fortnite. It's way different. It's a whole different type of shooting model. Is that the middle ground, or is that are the Zoomers really into Valorant because of its like the game, or is it just because they're horny and they just want to e-date on it? Like where do you feel like it is? You don't know that? Yo, that is a dating service, bro. Valorant is a dating service. I'm not even joking.
I deal with real women, Ethos. I don't know. So.
I think Valorant did a good job of modernizing a type of shooter player that it was a demographic that already existed. And they kind of gave them something new, something fresh, and it gave people that may be interested in that genre or style of game an opportunity to experience that type of game, which is like your strategy shooter or your CS:GO style shooter. But Valorant, technically Valorant didn't really reinvent the wheel.
Yeah, they
really didn't. They created a modern hodgepodge of like a few different games and created a really good formula and balance for it. To appeal to a younger demographic for this genre that is typically a little bit older because they're all like CS:GO heads or like Rainbow Six Siege heads, which is like maybe like the in between Valorant and CS:GO. You have the CS:GO
I put Siege there. Yeah.
So
he just said it in a very fancy way, but he basically said CS:GO with fireballs. That's all it is.
Oh, shut up.
Oh boy.
It is.
Exactly. Thank you, Myth. Thank you.
Oh my god. That's one of his biggest quotables too, man.
I love the validation.
It's CS:GO with fireballs. I ain't playing this shit.
I'm good off that fucking game. What's today? We are creeping up on the 2-hour mark, so we got to run down this news because I don't want to be holding up too much people in anybody's time. But
news.
Yeah, let's talk about the latest things going on. Can
I just tell you what no one cares about?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Okay. The Insomniac thing's good. Skip the. No one cares about the Walmart. Nobody cares about the day before. Yeah, nobody cares about that yet. We can do that next week or next month.
Okay. Well, let me get to the not the Walmart, but the Insomniac thing. So since the last podcast, we literally talked about hack was happening. But they hadn't had leaked anything at the time. It was just kind of, they were threatening them. Now, since then, they actually released the info because Insomniac did not pay, I think it was a $2 million fine that this hacker group had wanted. And one of the biggest leaks coming out of the Insomniac thing was basically their timeline from now to like 2030, what games are going to be coming out. Apparently,
we're not going to say them.
Oh, we'll get in trouble for that?
Yeah, we're not going to say them.
I mean, it's all over the internet, bro.
No, we're not going to say them.
I already I brought the image up on the screen already, so we're already fucked.
No, because some people don't want to. I told you, I got spoiled on that, and I was like, damn, I'd rather not know this information.
Why didn't you tell me this before we started recording?
I didn't know that's what you were. I thought you were just going to say, hey, they got breached. It fucking sucks. It sucks for devs. That's all we got to say about it. We should not tell people what specifically it was like.
All right, guys, 2025.
Here's what I'll do. I'm just gonna edit out the.
Yeah, just edit because I'm not gonna lie. I told you when I got spoiled because the timeline, Twitter just fucking posted it, and some people just made straight up like, this is getting leaked for this thing. I was mad as hell. I was like, why would you tell me this? I wouldn't want to know this. I want to be surprised. I wanted someone to be like, hey, this is their schedule for the next like 5-6 years.
We should have said that. You saw the notes beforehand. Now
I didn't.
Now I do extra editing. It's cool. I'll change the background of the article. It'll just be our cameras.
You literally just said Insomniac breach with a link. That's all. You didn't say you was going to go into detail.
Somebody didn't click on the link.
Because I wouldn't want to be spoiled on it. I did not read the link. I did not click the link, bro.
All right.
God, no. Take this away, bro.
If anybody wants the info, it's out there. It's not hard to find. What's the name? We'll move on to the next one. How about this?
You're welcome, devs. I got you.
Nintendo Switch news. Some analysts have come out and basically said the Switch 2 is coming in 2024, probably holiday season. It'll be $400, and don't expect anything special or magnificent. Basically, it'll be an iteration of the Switch. And to me, I've been trying to figure out what the hell that means. I wanted to bring it up to y'all. Maybe we can like speculate. To me, this is a yellow flag. There's like two options here. Best case scenario, what iteration means is like the form factor similar, kind of like how we went from the Xbox 360 controller to the Xbox One. Like the actual thing looks similar, but then the power under the hood is a whole lot better. To me, that's cool because like I don't feel like Nintendo needs to do something gimmicky every time they put out a new platform. Worst case scenario, iteration means same form factor with a slightly better chip, like some PS4 type Pro stuff.
Better display.
Like OLED 2.0 for $400, and I really hope that's not the case. What you think, Jay?
Yeah, I don't know. That news is iteration that could really mean anything, and Nintendo will definitely do something like they'll just bring out the same stuff just with slightly better graphics. So I'm not expecting anything special from here. And to be honest, I mean, I got a Steam Deck, and we all know, like, if you tinker with it, it damn near can be a Switch.
Allegedly.
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 It could damn near be a Switch. You know?
Shut up, GG.
I ain't gonna say how to do it, but they already know.
You have the Nintendo ninjas on us, bro. Relax.
I'm not the one. I'm not the one who's been making it happen. So I'm not gonna get in trouble.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. So I think that this is finally, and it's not just, with Steam Deck, but, you have so many other handheld iterations that are out that are directly competing now with Nintendo and the Switch. So I think that Nintendo has finally decided, hey, we gotta come up with something new. Now, whether it's going to be groundbreaking, revolutionary for the Nintendo genre with the Switch 2, I don't think so. I'm not going to expect anything groundbreaking with this Switch 2, but we'll see. Maybe I'll be surprised. People are going to buy it regardless, whether it has a very minimum upgrades or massive upgrades. People are going to buy it, so it doesn't really matter what I'm saying. But I'm not expecting anything, especially since I've been essentially spoiled with something that's more powerful that I got right now.
Speaking of the, go ahead, man.
I think they're gonna go. I mean, considering the initial release of the Switch, man, like 2017, and like you said, all these companies kind of bringing up handhelds that are knocking on the door and kind of surpassing in performance in a lot of realms as well. I think they're gonna do hardware improvements. I don't think the form factor is gonna change, but I think they have to make a move in terms of hardware. Man, 2017 is crazy for what was out at that time. So we've made a lot of leaps in terms of hardware since then, and especially like on top of that, not only hardware but just in terms of like software to hardware kind of technology between that time has also, I feel like, has improved pretty well.
In computer years, 2017 to 2024 is dinosaur because computing power, Moore's law, every year and a half it doubles, I believe.
Something like that.
Yeah, so like it's like computers age almost like a dog years, basically. Like it speeds up so goddamn quickly. 2017 was a long time ago in computer years.
Yeah. So basically my bet is like I would be shocked if they didn't increase performance and the actual guts of this system.
Okay. Freaking I wouldn't be mad at more power. I just really hope it's not like it goes from displaying 720p to 1080p, but visually it's exactly the same. I want them to have more power because to me, like if the Switch 2 can't run GTA 6, not that I would buy it on there, but like to me, it's like, why are you even putting the platform out? Like just make it something comparable to what's out right now.
That shit ain't gonna run on the Switch 2, let's be real. That shit ain't gonna work.
Hey, these Switch ports is looking real rough out here, man.
You saw the Mortal Kombat port? Ain't no way in hell.
Hogwarts Legacy one, did you see that ashy ass shit, man?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
ain't no way.
It's not looking
janky.
Yep,
so we're gonna see. Pray for Nintendo. Hashtag pray for Nintendo. Put it in the comments.
It's $400 the same price as the
Steam Deck?
How much is it cost now? Shoot.
I want to say yes.
One of the versions.
The OLED one is. I think it is. It's like
the OLED one's 400. Okay, got you.
How much is the regular one? The like 300 or something?
I don't even know if they sell those anymore.
300 on Amazon.
300. Okay, I'm just curious.
Yeah, if they're gonna be charging $400, they better be $400 worth of modern hardware.
Man, if that shit don't at least have the performance on the Steam Deck, that's an L.
Yeah,
it better at least be strong. Yeah,
which is crazy because the Steam Deck is 2 years old. Like that's crazy to even say that.
Yep. So just a powered up version of the PS4, just a more powerful version of it.
Time flies. Xbox, freaking, this rumor literally just came out today. VGC News, which is pretty reputable. They're claiming there's a rumor floating around the industry that a first party acclaimed Xbox game is geared to go multi-platform this year, so we can go ahead and just throw Starfield out of there because that wasn't acclaimed. Let's speculate. What game do you guys think? What Xbox? Stop laughing, you those. What Xbox game do you guys think has a chance to make the multi-platform jump? I see a lot in the comments. If you scroll down in the tweet, a lot of people think Hi-Fi Rush to Switch. I can actually see that.
I don't think it's Hi-Fi Rush. I think it's a multiplayer game.
Well, keep in mind they did a deal with Nintendo where they promised they were going to be bringing some of their content over there. That's why they think it is Switch related.
Maybe it is Hi-Fi Rush.
I feel like Hi-Fi Rush would be a good Switch title. Like I feel like that falls in that realm of typical games.
They cut like a 10-year deal with Nintendo.
What was that Obsidian multiplayer game? The one where they're like big ants and spiders and stuff.
Oh,
I heard it's like well received, and it has actually like a player base.
I was going to say Earthbound. That's NES.
No. Grounded or something. I think
Grounded. Yeah. Where you run around.
Could be it. Sea of
Halo Master Chief Collection.
Yeah, Halo. Maybe it's Halo. Yeah, maybe they put that on the Switch or something.
Halo on the Switch?
No.
Would that even work?
I mean, I'm pretty sure the Switch I'm pretty sure could run like the old Halos. Like I'd be shocked if it couldn't run Halo Reach or Halo 4. It should be able to run that.
No.
I'd hope so.
Freaking I would be shocked to see something like Gears on there. But then like I sat back and thought about it and I'm like at this point.
Hold on, real quick. Microsoft, where the fuck is the Gears collectors? Like the collection. Like I just realized this last month. I was like, hey, I really feel like I want to like replay the Gears trilogy. Mm-hmm. I didn't realize that I can't play 2 or 3 on PC. It doesn't exist. I didn't even know that. I thought it was always on PC. They don't. I don't think they exist on PC.
Really?
Only the first one came out on PC, but I think it didn't sell well, so they didn't bother with 2 and 3.
Yeah, like the first one they just
PC gaming wasn't as booming back then.
Yeah, it was like Ultimate Edition, and also they were using that shitty ass previous launcher that was terrible. I feel like now would be the perfect time for them. Like if they're gonna, if this is what I heard. I heard there was a rumor that they're going to reveal Gears 6 this year. That's what I heard. I heard there's been a couple of the community manager of Gears. He's been saying we got stuff to show this year, and there's been some other rumors that apparently 6 is going to come out. That also is a game that I feel like multiplayer wise, I would be happy to go back to because I haven't played.
We say that every time Gears 4 came out, Gears 5 came out. We played that shit for a week and got off of it. It just doesn't hit the same. And this is coming from somebody. I was a hardcore Gears person in high school.
I used to play a lot
as well. It does not hit the same anymore. I think
bring Cliffy back.
Yo, this nigga Marcus Phoenix needs to die. He's like 70, bro. How the fuck are the younger dudes? He's still in the game in the story. He's still the main character.
All his friends are basically dying around him. I'm pretty sure like all his friends are almost dead or they are dead.
They need some new IPs, bro. Where's Flintlock at? Like, I don't know.
Hey, bring back whatever some of those Activision IPs. Let's bring Prototype back.
I would be shocked if they gave that Prototype. Yeah, that would be cool.
That would be cool.
Yeah,
I'd be cool to see because they didn't finish it. I think it was supposed to be a 3rd game, right? You played.
Keep telling people, man, Activision has some nice IPs.
Yeah, they should bring Prototype 3 back.
Spyro to the Switch.
Yeah.
What's the name? Let's keep it in the realm of Xbox. Are you guys in? You're all older. How old are you, Myth?
24.
24. Oh, you young. Well, Ethos is old, and so is JG. What's the name? They're both like 40, so they're gonna be. They're currently in the market right now for like kitchen appliances. And did you know that Walmart is currently selling an Xbox toaster? You guys want one?
No shot.
Yeah, pull the image up. $40. You copying?
It actually look kind of nice though.
Oh my god!
His old man started tingling, boy. Yo, but hey, look at click the second link.
Fire! Hold on,
click the second link, and it takes you to Danny's video. Who, by the way, you need to get on the podcast, Danny. What's the name? But he got the toaster, and he's showing him using it. If you fast forward to like towards the end of the video, the funny thing about this toaster is it puts the Xbox brand on the toast. So
I gotta get this.
It doesn't even evenly toast though. Why would you want that, bro?
Because I'm the Xbox Game Pass Bishop. I need to get this. I gotta push the propaganda.
This
is the time on there. I think
a countdown timer.
Oh my god,
that's kind of fire. I'm not gonna lie.
The only reason I'm not mad at this is because it's fairly priced. If this shit was like $200, I'd be like fuck out of here. But it's only $40. Well, that's not bad. That's toaster price.
because I will give Xbox credit for this. I remember when they revealed the Series X, and everybody made fun of them and said it looks like a goddamn fridge, and they literally made a mini fridge.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, whatever. And now
lean
it's
into the
$1 toaster.
memes.
So,
Lean
yeah,
into the
They need to make this bitch a double toaster, and then I'll buy.
make it where I can do more.
Yeah, I do feel like 2 slices of bread is like old school. You need at least 4 now. Just in case, you need to make a little bit extra. We got
That's for the Series X. No, the Pro. The Pro.
Though, man. Nice looking toaster.
What's the name? JG, you're a big Hunter fan. They just announced the new game this morning. Anything you expecting from it?
Absolutely not. I mean, it's going to get all the anime fans going, but if this is not Dragon Ball Fighter style or NPC style,
doesn't look like it from the footage.
It's a watch for me, man. I'm not doing another Naruto
Arena Brawler.
I'm not.
By the way, sorry,
not
quick
doing
interruption. The Series S toaster does toast 2 pieces of bread. It's just a really long slot. Just wanted to. So I'm buying.
There you go, TBH. Go ahead.
BDC bread.
Go ahead.
Oh, shit.
Pop one. You can put it back there with your helmet.
I don't need a toaster. Bro. I have a touchscreen toaster. I'm bougie, so I don't need
excuse me. Oh.
My girlfriend makes fun of me all
called?
the time. What's it called?
What's
I'll
your
link it to it.
toaster
It's on
called?
Amazon. It's a
Link
little
it to me
expensive
right now.
It's nice though because like with the toaster, the touchscreen, it has like 6 different settings and it has pictures of how brown you want it. You click it, then you press start. It perfectly toasts it every time, bro. It's worth it if you got disposable.
Don't fucking lie. You've never thought about that, like in your history of toasting things.
I swear, I be on my Becky shit. I make avocado toast with that shit, bro.
No, you don't. If
You
got
never
avocado
shut
toast,
up.
it's on
You
you, bro.
You have
I'm
never
about to
wanted
all
a
this.
touchscreen.
No.
Oh, well,
I know the motherfucker that was years ago
I'm about to
slandering
link
avocado
you
toast.
up.
Ain't talking about I perfectly toast my toast.
You
with my
see what
avocado.
Callie did to him, man?
Yeah,
That's
it's
what they
completely a
did to
different
Callie, bro.
man.
Yeah.
A completely different man.
God
No.
forbid, as I get into my old man age, I try to take care of myself. Jeez Louise, bro.
Yeah, with a touch screen.
I'm about to link all 3 of y'all in the DMs with this. Joint.
Sure. Yeah.
It's on Amazon. Go ahead and cop that joint. You know you
on
want
Twitter?
to.
Or Discord?
No, I'm going to put it. I'm going to send it to you on the Discord. Let's see.
Oh, he wasn't lying.
Yeah, it's real.
I wanna see
Hey,
how big that
279 though.
I added you as a friend on Discord. What's the name?
I'm free to pull out my Xbox credit card.
Yeah. Oh, hold on. Let me pull it because they don't even get to see it on the screen. Let me pull it over this because they think I'm lying.
That's crazy for $280.
It's just like an iPhone, Android. It's real responsive, bro. You could do Pop-Tarts in that joint, bread.
Did this shit get like you do
not put your Pop-Tarts
That's
in your
insane,
toaster.
man.
Yeah,
no, that's
bro.
insane.
Sometimes I like to warm it up, man. Sometimes you like to warm it up, man.
He just finding excuses to use it now.
Hey, look, it was one of those late night 3 a.m. TikTok got me type joints. It
I
is
still
what it
haven't
is.
seen his toaster.
You got to add me as a friend on Discord. I sent you the link.
Oh, true. Oh,
Because for some reason you can't message people without adding them.
No, I got you.
But the Hunter game, yeah, I really hope that it's like a traditional fighter and it's not a 3D brawler arena because that shit is gonna be, I don't know, man.
It's gonna be ass.
Yeah, freaking. Let's while he looks at that toaster, let's move on to the social justice warrior section of the podcast. On this podcast, we have a section at the end of the show we do where we talk about all the latest social justice warrior news that intertwines with gaming. And JG, he's the father. He's the father of the group, so he likes to talk about this stuff. I like to give him the two-time father.
On the internet.
So the first conversation I want to bring up since the last podcast dropped, some fans since the Grand Theft Auto trailer dropped, they are claiming the game has gone woke. If you pull up the article that I put in there, you'll see some actual examples. Let me read some of this. So this is a Reddit thread, and it says, "Why is everyone black in Grand Theft Auto 6? Not to sound racist, but why is literally every character black? Like 95% of the characters, you scroll down, you see more people complaining about the black people in the game.
Jesus Christ.
This one's a really easy one to ether, but you're our residential social justice warrior, JG. What's your take on this? Do you feel like GTA 6 is going woke with all the blackies in the game?
No, man. Like,
Did they play San Andreas?
Yo, that's all you really gotta say.
Man, you remember what a certain somebody who TBH worked with said about the game, though. It was
No, go ahead. Tell me, I don't know.
Back on the X-Play days, he was worried when he was reviewing the game. You know, there was a bunch of black people in the game, especially a main black character. And yeah, no, he said, I was like, man, that's kind of crazy. Yeah, like when San Andreas came out, people were upset that CJ was black.
Now they love him.
So,
he's like one of the
now they
biggest
love
names
him,
in the world. But-
Right, exactly. So I think we have a twofold here. You know, you gotta Lucia's kind of but she's not white. So you're mad because you're not white and because it's a female. So
you gotta play a woman.
Right, exactly. That's a double. We knew this was gonna happen too. As soon as we saw the leaks, we were like, oh man, they're gonna be mad. So we got a woman as a main character. And then you've seen the trailers, and I mean it's a lot of black people. But I mean, if you live or even visited Miami-Dade County, that's the demographic you're gonna get. You're gonna get a lot of black people, and you're gonna get a lot of Hispanic people. So it's not a lot of white people down there. I'm just let y'all know that right now. So yes, the demographic is not going to be the same as it was in Vice City when it was back in the freaking 70s, 80s. No, it's a totally different demographic now. So if we're ahead in 2023, 24, 25, this is kind of what it looks like now. And I feel like people are doing all this bitching, but they're still going to play the game. It's one of the most anticipated games. One of the most anticipated games. So it's like no matter what you're complaining about, watch your dumb ass are going to spend however much this game is going to cost, and you're going to play the game. So you're doing all this complaining for nothing. It's pretty much just clickbait at this point. You're just trying to farm engagements. Yeah.
Noise.
Yeah, I was gonna say the man is like woke. That shit is accurate. Have you never been to Florida? Miami is dominated by Cubans, Puerto Ricans, and Dominicans, bruh. It's full, and then if you go to Dade, it's full of black people with the wicks and shit. Like you just never been to Florida. Like the game is accurate to what's going on down there. So maybe they're just genuinely ignorant about it. But like, why are these blacks in Florida? Because they're there. Like, what are you talking about, bro? Haitians? Is it the Zoe? Like, do you not know what the Zoe gang is? Zoe Pound? Like, what are you talking about, bro? So I thought it was funny. By the way, what did you think of the GTA 6 reveal, Myth?
I thought it was good. Yeah. Like, I think that's all I really have to say about it. Like, it wasn't like I don't think it was like a crazy reveal or anything, or they showed anything wild. The biggest thing that I was really impressed by was just the visuals of the character models. And it seems like they're genuinely making a really, really fucking solid effort at kind of having updated graphics and being being up to date with everything on that realm visually. But I mean, it was a fucking trailer. They showed off, some shit and some tones from different areas of what the game is going to be. And that was really it.
Fair enough.
I didn't think it was anything like crazy or anything. Did you guys think it was like wild or something?
No. Way out of
Too many black people.
Oh shit. What's the name? All right.
That's the fucked up thing though. They don't even gotta do much. They could just like
they really don't.
They don't gotta do shit.
They can literally just take 5 upgrade graphics. Yeah, people are
already way too far. Yeah, way too far on the hype train. It's been also GTA 5. You still playing it? I mean, I've seen you playing RP, so you still playing it.
Yeah, man.
There's 2 main characters, and one of them's a white guy. So, like, did we forget about that part? Or
no, it's just all about Lucia. No, they don't care about it. It's just Lucia there.
Lucia, give me a Becky.
They don't see color, but they do see color.
Hey, she thick, so she all right with me.
This guy. Last but not least on our podcast notes, last social justice warrior news. This one just came out this morning. Activision Blizzard is being accused of discriminating against old white guys. Some people are filing a lawsuit in the industry because Bobby Kotick had some remarks in terms of leadership, saying that all the old white guys are getting replaced for younger, hip, diverse people. I know JG was laughing about this in the group chat. How do you feel about this? Do you feel like the old white guys are trying to push them out of the old Call of Duty company?
I mean, they need to, because look what's going on there. I think the funny thing and the ironic thing about this is Bobby Kotick said it.
Hold on, that was a bar. That was a bar, but hold on, you gotta rewind that. Hold on, I don't think y'all caught what he said. He said, yo, JG, no, if you think about it, he said, yo, you really think about what Activision's been doing because, the lawsuit that they had before about how they basically mistreat women and minority groups inside of the Activision. They got sued for it because of that, because like a woman killed herself. Off herself because of like how like they bullied and they were like taking milk from mothers, like lactate. Like it was some wild.
There was also another
shit.
article that came out like last week. This woman came out and said that working at Activision under body
was terrible.
Kotick was terrible because he would constantly come in and change the vision of Call of Duty. So there's a high percentage chance that one of the reasons Call of Duty sucks so much is because he would come in and just fuck up whatever they were trying to do instead of letting the artists just be artists.
That's
basically
literally what happened with Modern Warfare 3.
You know what I love about this article? He talks about like, okay, there's a part of it where they say the filing lodged by 57-year-old woman, yada yada yada. So shortly after hearing these comments, a pair of white executives left, based at least in part on Kotick's ageist remarks.
Ages,
like,
yeah.
What did he say? You're fucking old. And like,
No, I'm not.
Like that was.
See, here's the thing. Old white guys specifically, they think that they can just stay at one job forever. And like nobody's ever going to take their place. They will literally stay there until they die. It's the same thing going on with our government right now, and why I have a problem with it, because all these old guys, they don't know shit about what's going on right now. They have not adapted to the time. They still think that the old way of thinking is the new way of thinking. And it's the same thing with these boards. Like all these executives think that they can just stay there and they don't change their ways. They make stupid ass decisions and they're not adapting to what's going on now. Like you have to have some new faces in there. You have to be able to shake things up. You have to have people who understand what's going on now with Zoomers and millennials and the later boomers. Like you all don't understand anything, and that's why Activision has been, specifically been in the same in this situation where they're at now. But like I said, I find it super ironic that Bobby Kotick said that, because I didn't think that he would say that. I was like, wow, like if you actually said that shit, that's actually pretty funny. Like out of all the other stuff that you've been
you of all people too.
Yeah, you of all people.
With the allegations against you, that's kind of wild.
Yeah, it's another situation of old white people just they want to be impressed, so they're playing the impression Olympics, and it's not going to work. So I actually think that it was a good thing. All right, cool, executive, get out of here, because this is what wanted you to do anyway. Bye. Like
if you're out of touch, why should you be working there?
Yeah. So
that's
what I think. That's what
if that's an ageist remark, then fuck it, man.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, man. These are funny times we are living in. I'm really hoping Call of Duty turns around now that it's under new leadership.
Don't Spencer save us.
Yeah, there's
Don't
potential.
Spencer save us.
A quick question. What does that look like in your guys' opinion? I'm always so curious to ask people about this.
What
for
Phil
Call of Duty?
Spencer
Like-
basically Microsoft owning Activision?
No. The statement Call of Duty turning around, or like Call of Duty, getting or becoming better. Like, what does that look like or feel like for you guys?
Well, first of all, they need to clean up the UI. It's got one of the most dog shit ass UIs I've ever seen in my fucking life, bro.
I completely agree with
Just
that.
shit all over the screen. Second, there needs to be a focus on putting out quality stories again. Like when I think of Call of Duty, the first thing I think of is all gillied up. Like that just does not exist anymore in Call of Duty. Bringing back really good maps, like Ito said earlier. Map design is map design is absolutely terrible.
Find the people who design the OG maps and bring them back.
And just creating value for the player. I don't feel like they're doing that right now. It's more so just shoving microtransactions that don't mean anything to the player.
Modern day shooters.
Trying to catch up to Fortnite and your collaborations by adding 21 and Nikki and
I won't play with Nicki Minaj.
Everybody else.
It doesn't have to be revolutionary what they do. They just need to go back to making something like it comes like the latest Call of Duty's come across as if they don't even like what they're making.
They don't even care.
Yeah.
I don't think they even care. It feels like there's no effort. Yeah. Whatever.
It's just like fast food. And like I want them to get back to, even if it has to go to skipping a year or maybe 2 years, just make a really good game that's gonna last, because good games, the fan base is always gonna be there versus just churning out shit every year. I mean, they did that with Assassin's Creed, and that's when we got Origins and then Odyssey, and then they fucked it up with Valhalla, and who knows what they're gonna do with Japan.
We're back into the cycle. I'm in the minority a little bit. I kind of also want, I said this before, because now there's a bunch of studios, I would love to see a different studio do a different take on Call of Duty, like a spinoff. I've said before, I was like, there's so many other settings than just the modern day and World War II and Vietnam. Like, there's more than that I think they could touch on. Yeah, I was like, Korean why don't y'all tap in? Yeah, like Korean War is interesting. You could even go into the fantasy element, like a steampunk type of thing, a sci-fi cyberpunk type of thing could be cool. I know they tried to touch that with Black Ops, but they didn't go too far. They were just like, it's a little in the future, but it's nothing like we didn't go advanced warfare. People
always Civil War. American, man.
I said too. No. I would like to. Deadass. I would play a Civil War game. I think that would be cool.
As someone who actually played a Civil War game,
I think it would look cool.
It's not fun. I was in high
Oh,
school.
you don't like
Absolutely not. Oh, yeah,
No.
that looks like something different.
My dad bought me. It was the Xbox 360 era.
Muskets?
I was in high school. There is a Civil War game. It was made by the History Channel. He bought it for me on the Xbox 360. He's like, "You always playing these games. Why don't you play this history shit? I bought this at the store for you." I'm like, "Okay, free game. I try it." Right. One of the worst fucking shooters I've ever played, because literally the
Waiting
whole
in
game
line?
you're just doing this the whole fucking time. It was so boring. I'm like, nah, I'm good off of this, bro. Like, I
Catch
don't know.
Red Scarlet.
Not unless the whole game I can play with a Gatling gun, because that's when it did get invented. But other than that, no, thank you, man. Give me a cannon. I don't know. Plus,
Yeah, I like to see some other stuff.
here's another one. Here's on a deeper level. Here's another reason why a Civil War game would never work with Call of Duty. There's too much politics involved. We as Americans can't even agree what that war was about. We're at a scary time.
Civil War, though.
We're at a scary time. It was about states' rights. States' rights to do what?
A modern. Yeah, I think I'm following you. A modern Civil War would be interesting.
Yeah, like that. What was the name of that movie that got announced a month ago? It was like based off of the modern Civil War. They just announced it.
Oh, the one with Kirsten Dunst in it, Spider Girl.
Yeah.
That shit, I don't know, man. California and Texas linking up. That's not believable. I don't know. I forgot. I think it's literally called Civil War though. But
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think a modern Civil War idea, like what Myth said, I think that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
I mean, like I need the shock back. Like I felt like when I played Modern Warfare 2 and the Russians attacked DC and you was literally pushed into the White House like through trench warfare. That shit was fire. Like I want to see more of that like alternative stuff, like the Black Ops shit where like you're fighting in the Cold War and shit. It's like alternate history type shit. Like the prison mission where they're like step 1 we get the key, step 2
they don't do that shit anymore.
They don't do none of the missions anymore. I'm like,
yeah.
y'all got to bring back that bravado. They don't got the bravado anymore. Now they're all like sheepish. They ruined Makarov. That third game, that was such a disgraceful like reveal of how they Makarov. But at that point when the airport started bodying Russians, bro, they made him into like a kind of a joke. Like he's not even as cold anymore.
We've gotten to the point where we're like, there's an age group that doesn't even know that Call of Duty had some of the best stories at one point in gaming. Yeah. Like I thought it was a multiplayer game. Like, nah, it was more to it there. So, what about you? Because you asked the question, Myth. What does that look like for you? A turnaround on Call of Duty?
Honestly, I have no idea. I genuinely have no clue. I'm so like, I don't know. I watch COD do what they do, and I think I've like detached myself from having feelings about anything that they do because I know that my desires won't come true. But it's just weird because I hear so much chatter about Call of Duty, and then somebody brought it up. We were having a long discussion about COD in my chat, and then somebody was like, "You do know that like COD is still the best seller year after year for the past fucking how many years they've been releasing?
Don't break it if it ain't.
It's like 2 or 3 years that for the past 10 years, for the past like decade, they've been number one seller every
bombs.
year.
Yeah.
So I'm like, damn, bro, is it me?
No.
I was like, am I the motherfucker? I'm like, am I just getting old?
It's just people who've just gotten complacent. Okay, so let's say Phil Spencer gave you a blank check and gave you like 4 years. What would you do? And said, make the next Call of Duty. Like, what would you take it?
Bro, I have no idea, man. I don't got a mind that works like that. Like at least right now, like what the one. Okay, if I had to do something,
well, free reign. You do whatever you want.
Go to where my heart desires.
Yeah.
I would take us back to like, shift. Fuck. What was it called? Which one was it that had thrusters and shit? But the one that people actually liked was it
Black
Advanced
Ops 3.
Warfare? Black Ops 3.
Advanced Warfare, they hated. Black Ops 3 was more of the type of thrusting instead of the zigzagging type shit. Yeah.
I would take it back to Black Ops 3, but tone down a few of the things that they were fucking with, like the ultimates and some of the abilities.
Mm-hmm. Less Overwatchy, but still have that like advanced movement, that more like I kind of call it like Titanfall light, where it's like it's not as far gone as Titanfall, but it does have a little bit of that like.
Yeah, it gets you off the floor a little bit.
Yeah,
makes things a little spicy. It gives you a little bit more counterplay than just sliding on the floor,
turning around and shooting people. Yeah.
I like that idea y'all had of like more alternate history stuff. Now that I'm thinking about it, like one of my favorite shows on Amazon was Man in the High Castle, when that was an alternate history show where the Germans in Japan won the axis of evil, and then the United States was split. The West Coast was owned by Japan, and the East Coast was the Germans. Like, it'd be cool to implement some type of stealth elements there, as well as on top of the action of trying to like free America or something like that. I could see that working. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I'd like to see another studio try, like, like Obsidian, not Bethesda, but Obsidian. I would love to see them like actually write a Call of Duty campaign and direct it. I think that'd be really cool to see.
Yeah.
So, give it to a real story team, basically.
Yeah, let them like a real narrative team see what they could come up with, and for like the campaign, like still have like the multiplayer, people at Treyarch do the multiplayer, but maybe try a nice little twist, like actually add some depth to your narrative, which we feel like's been lacking lately, and see what it comes out.
Yeah.
There you have it. That is all I got on my podcast notes, and we're past the 2-hour mark. Is there anything else you guys want to add to the conversation before we wrap this one up? Anything we forgetting? No. Okay.
No. Yeah.
Cool, because I'm tired of fucking talking.
Okay.
Myth, you are our guest for episode 150. What's your closing statement for Game and Illuminati episode 150? Go.
Ooh, closing statement. One, thank you guys so much for having me on. This has been great. I love just sitting down and just chatting about things that we're all passionate about. And I can tell you guys are really fucking passionate about games, and it's awesome. And it, makes me happy and makes me feel that too. So just honestly, man, thank you guys for having me. The gaming Illuminati community, thank you guys for obviously, showing support on Twitter. Without you guys showing support on the tweets that, showing support on the tweet that was put out, kind of wondering, vouching for me, I wouldn't be here. So I wouldn't have, you guys made this happen. So thank you. Appreciate it for real. And lastly, Ethos. Back in the day, I used to watch your videos so much. I used to watch your videos so
This is so nice because this shit happens to me all the time. How does it feel, Ethos? When I was 12, I used to watch you, Ethos.
This happens so much now to me. Oh my god! No, I was gonna say we met each other. I was gonna tell you because you're still on my friends list on Epic. But I was like, because I was staring one year when we were playing Fortnite. I was like, Myth. I was like, there's no fucking way this is who I think. And you were Twitch streaming. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, how the fuck how are we friends on this? And then I remembered, I was like, oh shit. I was like, I think we played Paragon way back in 2015, 2016 before it went off when Epic went on Fortnite. Which is crazy. It's been such a long time. Jesus Christ. Well, if you want to play Predecessor, you're always welcome to drop on by. That'll be funny little resurgence.
Small world. Everything comes full circle. I had no idea about this connection. Ethos, what is your closing statement for episode 150? Go.
Yeah, shout outs to Myth. Thanks so much for dropping by and chopping it up with us. And this shows, like what I'm pretty sure JG is going to say, this shows if you guys actually tweet people that you want to see, this can happen more. So tweet more people that you'd like to see come on the show, and we'd love to invite them on and chop it up with them as well. That's all I really got to say. Appreciate everybody for supporting us in 2023. I'm dropping a new video. I finished. I was literally rendering it before we started the podcast. It's done. I swore I was not lying about it. I'm going to be dropping new videos this year. So there you go, Myth. Happy New Year's. I'll probably be a little washed, but I'm dropping some new stuff this year.
You gonna be consistent this year with content creation?
Yes, I'm gonna be consistent this time.
We got to talk, bro, because the game has changed a lot since you fucking uploaded.
Look, I've been doing research. I've been cooking for this past 3 weeks. So, I'm basically about to Controlverse. I'm about to drop a Controlverse. I'm gonna come at some people's necks, and we're just gonna move from there. Yeah,
all right.
I'm gonna say is I'm disappointed in the video essayists. The only people I rock with is Racevic and DX. They're the only ones I saw doing something. The rest of y'all,
that's the wave too, like long form, like going to 2024.
Yeah, I know, but they ain't talking about shit. They ain't talking about shit. That reminds me, Myth, we should have a conversation about shooters and stuff, because I'd be very curious about some of your insights in the future. So we'll chop it. We'll chop it. I'll DM you or whatever it is. We'll chop it up.
Let's do it, man. That sounds like a lot of fun. I'm down.
No doubt.
And then JG,
you can carry me in Fortnite.
Episode 150. Closing statement.
Shit's tough out there, cuz.
Oh yeah, I can't do none of that.
What's your closing statement?
But now we're really on 150. Like that's great. And I was like, comparing our numbers.
150?
Yeah, we're on 150. Like, and I feel like it took forever to get here, right? But like all of our podcasts have been like about quality over quantity. So that's why we're where we're at now. We're literally halfway to 200. So that's great.
Did I tell you we was in the 1%? Did I say that last year?
Yeah.
Okay. 1%,
Yeah, that's great.
1%.
Yeah, so shout out to you, Myth, for responding. Like I mentioned before off air. That was great to get someone that I hold in such high regard, especially in the shooter realm. Still. Out here. So, and especially, just knowing you from the Paragon days, way back when. Because I knew, like I said, Ethos, and we knew you before. You got
all four of us are Paragon refugees. This is crazy.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, we all are. We all are. So
Epic.
So,
It's time.
Who's y'all's mains in Shibby, real quick? I mean, who's y'all mains in Paragon?
I played Twin Blast and Steel.
Yeah, he's a Twin Blast.
Oh, I think it was Grux. I think I was playing Grux.
You did play Grux, yeah.
Was it Grux? I think it was Grux, yeah.
I like Kalari. Like I used to play Kalari.
You used to play that robot
all main
too,
different
Jay.
shit.
I used to play who?
The robot
Steel?
too, didn't you?
Was it Steel you?
No, the white robot with the bug on top of his head. What was his
Oh,
name?
never mind. You talking about the gun? EXE or
EXE, yeah. I remember you used to play him a lot.
Oh, the one with the big spine.
It was a robot, but there was somebody controlling him. Jay used to play
Right.
him.
Oh, yeah, that was true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, KL, if you're watching this, it's time for a Paragon reunion. Let's get it started.
Where are they now?
Where are they now?
I would love to know where they are. That one dude that said he played 14 hours a day. You remember that shit when we went to the event? Like, where's that guy? Is he okay? I hope he's okay.
Nice to be great. So yeah, so shout out to everybody. I hope you all enjoyed this episode. Like I said, we wouldn't have been able to do this if it wasn't for you all, the community, asking about Myth, and you were very insightful this episode. So I appreciate you for coming on.
Oh yeah, to put more emphasis on that, like y'all's community on Twitter was so like encouraging of this happening and felt like this is what needed to happen, that I was like, oh well, I gotta do this. Like usually you see some people on the internet and they're like, yeah, this guy, like all caps, fucking outrageous, outlandish, but people were like writing like beautiful like tweets about like how much they they wanted to see this happen and thought that it was such a perfect match. So it really does make a difference.
Yeah, you was real passionate. You also you also gave some surprises like the Battlebit. That threw me off. Like some of the games you picked. And then also, they probably want to see another brother on here. So, they like to see brothers collabing and shit like that. It is what it is. And then
thank you guys for having me on, man.
My closing statement for episode 150 is if you made it to this part of the episode, comment in the comment section below on the video version, #Myth was here. Other than that, leave 5 stars on the show, hit the like button, and we will see you on the next time for the Game and Illuminati podcast. Peace.